Hey, welcome to the show.
Happy Thursday.
Thursday night
Thursday night. You're in the Hangout.
with Adam and Ryan.
Yeah.
It's funny. Hey, what's up, Mike Azul? We got the cheers. I think we have to cheers.
Cheers.
And we got the dancing stealth mouse.
Good to see you both.
It is awesome to see you both. Ryan came over early tonight. I don't think he realized how early he came over, which was fine. Actually, it was good. We got to vamp on a bunch of like personal stuff that's necessary. So that was a good. So I feel like we were like, don't talk about that because it's gonna be for the show.
We did a lot of like, no, let's not talk about that, but let me talk about it really quick. Like, and then we would get into it a little bit and be like, no, we can't. We can't. We got to save it for the show because there's too many fun things to talk about tonight.
There is always a lot of fun things. So we got four of us in the stream watching us tonight. So thanks for hanging out. If you're not checking in the chat, one of the things that we are gonna do tonight, we are gonna play the game. I have spent too much time. I
actually spent a little time. So we got doubles.
I wish we would have calculated how many hours we actually spent on building this thing because it has been a lot. But one of the things is Stealth Mouse. She is going to get her master's at this point.
Yeah.
So as she's doing her study and all that stuff, I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's where I'm going to be working on the game. And so it feels like I'm not hanging out with you. I'm letting you do your thing, and then I can work on the game as we're going through it. So it's given me a lot of hours. I've watched way too many series and shows and movies while doing this in the foreground.
You'll have something for the end of the year show where we talk about our favorite stuff of the year. You'll have more to talk about.
But I'm excited because we're gonna do some game centric stuff tonight.
Yeah.
We definitely will play some Jackbox tonight.
Yeah, we gotta play
Jackbox.
We're gonna get around it.
But what do we got on the show tonight, Ryan?
Well, there's like fun stories, obviously. So a bunch of cool, tech news and AI news that we want to talk about. 3 or 4 things came up. Some
we never talk about AI on the show. What the hell?
It wasn't necessarily built as an AI show, but it's turned into a little bit of that. But whatever. And but we're talking about 3D printing stuff and everything too. So it's all those things. So fun articles to talk about. I feel like we might get into some rabbit holes.
And I gotta like jab this guy on like one of these. I was like, did I go down a rabbit hole with one of my topics?
You knew.
I picked?
It's like you picked the topic. I didn't pick that topic.
Did you read it? You listened to it.
I did. I had.
Man, he did.
Here's a small tangent. Love it now that a majority of outlets have an AI voice that can read you the article just at the top. They're like, hey, do you just want to listen to this? It's 9 minutes. You can have our AI read it. And I love that. I choose it almost every time. Even if I'm going to read it, I choose it and then read it along with the voice over it.
So we're jumping in. We're getting already into AI. So one of the things that is hilarious to me is how long have we been into the AI space? Like
2 years.
2 years. So anecdote, and I'm not naming names here. So I'm meeting with some people at work, right? I work in higher education.
Yeah.
And
I think you should name names.
Yeah, let me just drop some names here. Actually, you would
Make some news here,
yeah.
Adam. God.
I know. He's like, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing your job.
What are you doing?
No, but so like the big thing in higher education is like, what are you doing to check all the write-ups that make sure people aren't doing AI stuff? And I'm just like, oh my God, you don't even like doesn't exist. Like,
yeah.
I
would love to hear. So is your understanding, because I had this exact same conversation with my high school age son, who we were doing reports and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, they have a thing that says, here's how much plagiarism you're using. And it says on there specifically that it's catching AI plagiarism. And he was like, that can't be true, right? Like, because he and I talk about all this stuff. Like, he's, and he's like, that's all BS, right? And I was like, yeah, from what I know, that is all BS. Like, it can't really, but you in higher education, I imagine you would have heard of such things if they existed and worked well.
They absolutely exist. But here's the deal. It's that it's a bunch of maybe faculty that are looking up like plagiarism checking tools, and they're like, well, I got my bookmarks with like 10 of them, and these are the ones I use. But thankfully, one of the people that I talked to is like, I don't use it on everyone, and they pick up patterns, and they're like, I'm gonna take a sidebar on this, and it is absolutely on topic, but there have been people that have been putting AI in things to me at work, and I'm just like,
you could tell.
dude, colons, title case with
Yeah,
every word
right.
capitalized. I'm like, that's freaking AI. Come
Yeah.
on, like, do your due diligence to make it not even look like AI.
I know.
Come on now. But as far as going back to the higher education side of the house, it's like just this thing. They're like, well, how are they going to do this? I'm like, you should change your pedagogical practices and actually make it to your like critically thinking and leveraging AI instead of trying to figure out how to stop it. Like, you can't use the 20, 30 years that you've been teaching as the methodology for how you go forward with it. I don't know.
Sad. Well, it's one of those things that like technology moves too quick, right? And you get to a certain age, I feel like, and you sort of, calcify a little bit in your beliefs and you can't move along with the times. That just feels like a I don't know, a mindset quality or something that some people have. But I do agree that like right now is the time when we need to use it as a tool. It's not, and then because pretty soon it's not going to be beyond a tool. I would think.
You saw what Mike Azul said in the chat, right?
I didn't.
So he said, like, I've seen the last 2 weeks, like, so many cover letters that he actually appreciates a mistake. Hey, H.E. Higley. What's up?
Higgs.
So what was interesting about that too, and like from Mike Azula's standpoint, I actually agree with that, is that like, let's put yourself in the shoes of somebody applying for a job right now. You got this big long description of everything that says what your job is or what the position's going to be. What are you going to do?
Right.
You're going to like, let me take this, push it into an AI, and then like say, make a sweet cover letter. Yeah. Tell me how my resume. Totally. But some people that aren't using it are like, sweet, copy, paste, throw that out there. I'm like, Are you... I don't know. Maybe it's myself, but like critically think, use it as an assistant to get you like the first step of your stairway you're going, and then change it, put your own elements into it. But I don't think everyone's using that way.
The problem is that it's the same thing with a lot of technology where you use it as a tool and augment it, but then, like a lot of people will use it just sort of in a lazy way of that, or just like an ignorant of how it can, but then the expectation is that more sophisticated use of it, right? And so they're just sort of like behind.
So you always you're moving the dial. Like I was watching a YouTube video earlier, and they're like, our AI will write a book and put pictures and do all I'm like, who's going to read the damn thing with everyone's using your stupid AI to write books? Nobody.
You're jumping into the articles that you highlighted already.
Oh, that was something.
Do you want to do the first one? What's the first one? Should we jump into it?
I feel like the camera needs to be on you a little bit more. Let's give you a little bit more.
Of course it does.
Space there.
Of course it does.
Ryan framed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Why this is why people are here.
That's right. We up to 5 viewers and one dropped off because it wasn't on you. That's exactly where it was at this point. All right, let's jump in. Just a quick rundown of some of the things we're going to talk about so you can prepare yourself for the rabbit holes. Chat, you got to help us. Just say, hey, shut the freak up when we get too a little deep into this. But we got AI can't make art. AI may create jobs. We're going to go into some fun stuff, actually, that has nothing to do with AI. Walmart being 3D printed. Walmart
was 3D printed. That makes I feel like I saw the pictures and it makes sense.
Runway Gen 3, which is an AI thing, going back to it.
We use Runway a bunch. We've used Runway quite a bit on this show.
And then just a rando one. We're going to get into some GB Studio tonight. I don't know if Disturbed is out there, but Disturbed, you got an analog pocket.
Ooh.
That's pretty badass.
Totally.
Thanks for joining the ranks of that. Ryan hasn't, but he has an original Game Boy. I got him original Game Boy, so I gave him the pass on it. We're going to play our game tonight. I'm going to sit back after the freaking crazy amount of hours and watch Ryan play it. He hasn't played it yet.
Yeah, I'm excited. And then, we'll do some new things.
New colors. Yeah. In the game? Or are we just talking about what?
For the analog pocket, I assume.
There is. And the color thing, all right, I'm just going to pre-warn you if you're watching the stream tonight, and we appreciate y'all. I'm going to talk about some stuff, and I'm going to try to explain what I did. And I was telling Ryan earlier that when I explain where my brain is going, like verbalizing it and explaining how I've been doing it really comes off bad, and I'm in the middle of that discussion.
Comes off bad in what way?
In my brain, I'm like, oh man, the way I think about it
is
can't-
badass,
and then
and the way that you're
my flappy
explaining it.
meat mouth is just like explaining it. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. To
Read a
anybody.
book, Adam. Get some
Ah.
vocabulary. Your perspicacity is terrible.
Ooh, I love that word. Hey, do you know, side note, when we talk about reading books, so I went to work with a colleague last night, and I know they're a reader, and I'm like, how many books have you read this year? Just like casually. Guess how many books somebody read this year? So I've read at this
How
year,
many?
I've read 13 books this year.
Listened to or read?
So we had this debate too last night. Is listening to a book considered reading or not? I don't know. So I would say I've read, if you want to go by the definition of me pulling a book and reading it, I've read 4.
Yeah.
And then 9 I've listened to.
Yeah.
So this person has read and listened to, I don't know the ratio. How many books do you think this person read?
30.
80 books.
80 books.
80.
80 books. Like,
What the and they're like, I'm going for 120 this year.
I
was like, what the fish?
But
And they're
like-
like, that doesn't even rank. I was like, that's got to be like a record. And they're like, no, that doesn't even rank. There's like apparently rankings for reading books.
I would
Crazy.
say if you converted every hour of podcasts that I've listened to this year into hours long book, if I had just like switched from podcast to book, I bet I could get up in that range. I feel like I listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's good. I
Like,
appreciate that.
You know, just at work, just doing things and walking around, and like a lot of political podcasts and media podcasts and AI podcasts. And
I mean, that's good. It's like-
politics.
It's just good to saturate yourself with that. I just don't have enough time to like do it at work. I'm
Yeah.
usually like in meetings.
I'm usually like doing shit at work, Ryan.
Yeah, I like there's actually people that actually
That,
work.
that rely on me
kidding,
to
just
do
kidding.
things as opposed to your little like.
All right, let's jump into the articles. But as
Yeah.
far as work is concerned, one little last anecdote is that at work I use Microsoft Teams.
Okay, me
Okay.
too.
But I had requested and somehow got the last version of the AI enabled Teams. Are you familiar with this? So what it does, it's basically Teams. But what it does is if you record or you transcribe, which I have hearing problems. I don't know if I told you this. I've mentioned this, but like I really am to the point where I'm like not hearing things well. Stealth Mouse can totally vouch for this one. And I'm not just saying this. Like I've got reports and like testing that my hearing's bad. I watch everything with captions on anymore.
Did you see that the new AirPods are going to be hearing aids?
Oh yeah, I did. They said they got like validated of being a hearing aid. So I guess my point though is that because of that, I turn on captions at work. But the new AI with Microsoft, when I turn on those captions, it does the analysis after. It's called a view recap.
Okay.
And so then it tells you like, here's who talked the most. Here's what the tasks are. Here's your actions from this meeting after, and just gives you that.
Yeah.
And
I
so
feel like I do
it's crazy.
God, Firefly. Is that what it is? Firefly is
It's
like
Adobe.
no, that's that's Adobe's one. Anyway, there's an AI note taker that basically like does that thing and then sends you a report
Read
at the
AI.
end. It's something like Firefly, but anyway,
Okay.
like you send it off Fireflies. Yeah, see, like so it's
Mike Azules, he's got his finger
he's
on
got
the
a finger
pulse of
right
it.
here on the
Hell
pulse.
yeah.
Like, and so it does the same thing. Sends you back a report. You could share that with everyone and be like, you know what I feel like the problem with it is? It's still worse than human taking notes.
Yeah.
Like way worse than that. And when it comes back to me and goes, hey, you had a 45-minute, and guess how many action items came out of it? 37.
Oh my
I go,
Jesus.
then 0 action items came out of it. AI, thanks.
Because it doesn't know. It doesn't want to lose something and then
Yeah.
like be
It doesn't
culpable
know.
for
It
it.
doesn't know. It doesn't know what's important. It doesn't know. It like took everything at the end of a sentence as an action, basically.
So I would say the Microsoft one, the autopilot
Good.
or whatever, it like it's pretty decent and it summarized it quite
Because
well.
what do you want out of the end of a meeting notes? Like, I feel like I want a couple main sort of overall takeaways and, you know, the ability to
So,
just search it for keywords.
I absolutely appreciate that question because what it does and what I love about it is it summarizes it and then it has this like hidden area that's like, do you want to see the bullet points that we made to get to this conclusion?
That does sound better.
And then it does seem to distill it. But here's a hilarious thing that like I think AI is doing is it's like adjusting the way that I speak in these meetings because I know it's talking to me. So when I'm in the meeting, I'm like, so the action point and next action we need to accomplish is
right.
And then the AI picks that up, and then it's like, bam, this is what you need to do.
You're like, if you want to get at the top of an AI summary list of the notes of the meeting, just very clearly say one action item from this meeting is X.
But I mean, regardless of AI or whatnot, I just want to say I have a hell of appreciation for the transcription and how good it is. Because if it wasn't for that, I think I would miss so much in meetings. Because like, I'm sorry, I just can't hear shit. I cannot hear.
Give me a
shit.
break. It's not like that.
It is true.
It's just you're.
Okay, here's the thing. I've been to a gazillion concerts in my life. I have blasted my ears out to the point like I am constantly like, what? Sure. And then there's sometimes in meetings I'm just like shaking my head like, yeah, I got that. And I'm like, I didn't fucking hear anything. Like, I swear to God, like,
That's
please put the
hilarious.
transcript. So I'm like,
please put this transcription on life.
so in any movie I watch, I like if transcriptions are on, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I need it. I need this to like understand things.
That's hilarious.
It's bad, but it is a thing. So I appreciate it. All I'm saying is that I think it's gotten better, and I'm also critical of it because I can hear. Like, let's not pretend like I'm deaf, but I like the things that I see.
Well, meetings and things like that with like other people
God,
talking and background noise and all of those.
It's super good.
Totally.
AI can't make art.
Yeah. Put up this article if you don't mind.
Do you want? Oh, yeah, it's even like pretty things on it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. That's not it. Oh God, I'm gonna be randomly pushing buttons here. All right, there we are. All right, we're good. All right, what are we gonna talk about here? Oh, I gotta turn off our little...
You posted this. Adam posted.
Oh, so I'm the one. I gotta talk about it.
Well, you gotta introduce it at least.
All right, so AI isn't gonna make art. Should I accept the cookies? Wait, your window is open to the world. Okay, shh. I like that little animation. Mm-hmm. Tell me that's runway AI, right?
No. It's a fun Roomba making art.
All right. So what I did post this, and one of the things is plug for Tildays because I'm not on Reddit, even though I might have a Reddit article or two that I find organically. But is AI going to make art? And I know Ryan has some like hot points. I'm gonna shut the hell up in a minute here because like it's
fine.
Gonna be good.
No. I wanna hear why you chose this.
So one, I like to look at articles. I like to look at it from, I guess, maybe areas that I don't know if I trust the New Yorker, but ones that are a little bit more prominent out there.
Totally. Oh, there's a million blogs called AI whatever.
Yeah, and so I obviously I do summaries. What's the like the high points of these different articles and stuff like that. And so what it gets into is a couple different specific areas. And like it talks about creativity and the ability to create things like organically, and how like AI is always taking things that others have done and just like riffing on it essentially.
Totally.
And so like art is hard to do because somebody has some crazy idea that goes off on like a different thing, like another sense.
Well, it doesn't make unique things.
It doesn't make
like everything is sort of trite and fine and okay, and because it's just sort of or it's aping someone's style very specifically to even try to do it, and then it's just a watered down version of whoever that person was.
100%. And I mean, my 2 cents is because I love to hear you. And the reason I picked it number one is because I know you, and I know that I wanted to hear your 2 cents on it. But here, let me just check this in the chat. That way, everyone has it, and they can look at it if you would like to enjoy the pieces of this. And so what I was looking at is art. And if you're an artist, if you're a creative, if you're somebody that makes choices, there's these moments in your art where you're like, I'm gonna do this. Or I'm going to do that.
Every paint stroke, right?
And I feel this. Oh, I'm gonna give some credit to my wife here. she is an amazing artist, and the way that she approaches some of the things that she just decides to do is awesome. And
Totally.
and so it's like she paints her nails, but not just like one color, but like little mini paintings on her nails that they get
Nice.
wiped away every 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing. You need to continue to show people that. But my point is that the choices that you make, the ways that you like put all these different strokes together, like give you this different depth than what an AI was like, oh yeah, this is what an art like kind of looks like. And they like, they like kind of put it out there and they say, here's a painting, for instance. And you're like, yeah, that kind of reminds me of a whatever kind of painting, insert artist here. Whereas the artist individually, every stroke, every piece of that art is like very intentional, or, you know, maybe not to that level, but it creates a feeling. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, if I do this little thing, it's going to change this from being like somber to happy, or
Yeah.
to dark, or create a mood, where AI is just being like, that looks like this. Let
Yeah.
me create something that makes it look like that. So
I feel like
your
part
thoughts?
of it is like you're talking at that point about the intention behind the art as opposed to the output of the art.
The word intention. Thank you.
Like the intention, right? Because an AI has no intention. It is just doing a thing, and maybe the output is better than an artist would be, right? Like in some ways, but the intention isn't there. My only concern is that most of the time when you commoditize something like that, people don't care about the intention. Like I can have a sweet, awesome, amazing bespoke couch made. Like I always go back to this reference. Like, and a lot of people do. They care about that an artisan like made them a bespoke thing, right? And they know then that the quality is amazing, and they know the background behind it, and they know that every like nail and hammer and piece was done by a human, and that is like super important to them. And that is awesome. Like there are tons of people like that. The problem is like a majority of people are like, I'm fine with whatever the output is. I don't care what the intention was. And so if that is building it in a Vietnamese factory for 10 cents on the dollar of tiny children, you're like, I'll put that out of my mind because all I care about is the output, and that's a freaking cool couch, right? For dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I'm afraid with art is like this whole article goes into like a lot of it is how the intention behind it is the thing, right? And the choices that the artist is making, like they make a lot of those points. And I 100% agree with them. You know, in a lot of ways, the background behind a piece of art.
Over 100,000 brands that use radio to take their marketing
AI
to
is
a
tells
whole
me
new
that
level.
that we
Across
should have a conversation right now. All right, continue.
Just that, you know, you can, the intention behind it. Do you remember there was like, for a long time, there was this argument of, this reminds me of like the abstract art. My 5-year-old can make abstract art.
Yep.
Argument.
Oh yeah, I like this one.
And what that is that saying like the output of something, of a painting that looks abstract, a master painter could do that, right? With decades of experience and make you a cool thing. And also a 5-year-old could make that same sort of like scribbles of stuff. And if you just love the art for the art, and you want to hang it on your wall, it shouldn't matter to you if a 5-year-old made it or a fine artist with decades of experience made it, because you just like the thing. But if you're like an appreciator of art, you're like, I care that the master guy did it because he did it in this period and it was this time and he signed it and it's this one of a kind thing and it's amazing and maybe it's investment and it's all of that. And that is the art around it, like the background behind it. And that's why you care about it. And that's why you pay millions of dollars for that, as opposed to the 5-year-old when you couldn't have an art, curator tell you the difference, right? But those are the two differences between them. And that's the same thing with AI art. And so there still will be a thing for artists that do it with nothing, that has nothing to do with AI, and there will be an audience for that. It will just be smaller.
Well,
that's it.
And I think, what you're talking about too is like, intention is what you said earlier on in this article, and like the intention of even maybe appreciation is a thought
Right.
that I would say is that like people like, I appreciate that this person has invested this much of their time in their life to care about this thing enough to create this experience, and then maybe that person that can see it, that can like feel it differently. I think there's a lot of people in society, I don't know, I'm just gonna make a broad anecdotal assessment here, that just are like, look at things and like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's great, and then they just go on in their life, and they're like, did you think about what it took to make that thing? Like what bazillion things, what 40 years or 50 years somebody went through to create those kind of strokes in that moment to make the thing.
But I do that too, because I don't appreciate the layout of roads and how like complicated that is. And I'm sure the guy who is the city planner is like, F you, Ryan, with your stupid little designs of whatever. I have to make this city run in this whole thing, and it's this art, and you're like, I just drive on and I get mad when the red lights hit me and I don't like it, you know? So it's like whatever you have the close association to is what you feel is like the artisan that is being underappreciated in your life.
That was one of the better points you brought up, Ryan. I love that you went that direction, because that is true. It's like, I think we all do these amazing things in our life, and we don't even people don't realize or appreciate the things. And like I would say, every single person you in this listening to right now, you do something freaking amazing right now, and nobody appreciates it to the level that you know.
The invisible
what you do.
work, the invisible
Thank
work
you.
of all of our lives.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
All right, move on to the next article.
Oh yeah, you were like, we're right around that philosophical rabbit hole.
We could take it another 20 minutes, but I want to.
All right. So the next one here, what do we got? It was AI may create jobs, right?
Man, another one. So this was like an article that came out about a study that said that AI actually probably won't take away jobs in at least, the somewhat, future in the next couple of years or something, but will actually create jobs, in the long run. But I'd love to hear your defense of this.
Defense of it is like, it will or not, or I mean, because we always take, I feel like you and I, it's like, it used to be Adam versus Ryan versus Adam, whatever.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of like Adam and Ryan versus AI anymore. Like we're really trying to justify. First of all, before we get into this rabbit hole, I want to just want to look at something here. If we go into this, oh God, I got to push the right button. All right, I did the right.
Nice.
All right. Can we just talk about this guy for a second?
He looks this is a great picture. It's like,
okay, first of all, is this an AI picture?
No.
Okay, good. Just think about this guy right now. I'd like to put myself in the shoes of somebody. He's like, who's taking this damn picture right
Totally.
now? Like, let's look at these couple pictures. This guy is like, I don't even give a shit, because like they're taking a picture of this guy.
Well, he sucks. He's working in like less than a cubicle.
And then this person, they're probably in college or maybe like whatever. They're just chilling. They're doing some. There's a little picture of a dude. Like,
I don't know what that is on their screen.
Have you? Hey, wait. So did you work in a call center ever?
No.
I worked in a call center. It's rough. This is a job that's a lot different. They have like screens that come up and you're like, guess what? You are this kind of a person now, and you work for this company. So you have to take on that persona. Here's the questions that you answer. And then the next call, you hang up and you're like, oh God, that was terrible. And then you pull up the next one and you're a different company, you're a different person, you're a different thing. You have to put these like different like faces on and act like you're different companies. Man. Anyways, I just wanted to say this picture, it like hit me. It hit me in my heart, because I used to be in his shoes.
Aww.
Like that face on him, like there, he's just like, God damn it, don't take my picture.
Don't take my. I don't want. I'm not agreeing to be in this. I'm not relinquishing my thing. And
he's like,
too bad you're at
he's
work.
like,
You got to.
I'm about to get in
now
a
it's going to be on an Associated Press article.
All right. So the article, AI may not steal jobs after all. He's only 23 years old. This article is interesting. I liked it because this is the debate right now.
Yeah.
You've said it a couple times, like we're to the point where Elon Musk is coming out with the next one, or maybe it is ChatGPT and Sam Altman, whoever. They're going to come up with the one that creates the AI that recreates a company that can do every single task
Right.
of what a company can do.
Every position in a company at a PhD level.
That's a bunch of bullshit. I don't believe it. That's my 2 cents. I don't think it's there. So anyway,
It's not there. Yeah, no.
it's not there, and I don't think it's going to get there for a minute. And
Okay.
and I think the reason is because we're going to keep pushing it really hard, but then there's going to be a lot of resistance, and there's just going to be a lot of things that fall through the cracks.
Sure.
But what it's saying it's that it does. It enhances efficiency, effectiveness, the way that we work as individuals. But it's not going to replace people. And it goes back. I don't know, maybe this is like a tie-in to their first article, is that there's intention, there's decisions, there's like intelligent understanding of like, we need to do this and not this.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go this path, and it's going to help you perform some of these tasks that we need to accomplish a little bit differently. And so I'm going to die on this hill right now, at least.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say that like AI isn't going to change in the next like year to 2 years
Sure.
here. But it is the people that can use AI and leverage it in a way that it's not like, hey, I'm going to ask this really stupid, simple question. It's going to spit out a bunch of crap, and it's going to give me something that's going to be, amazing. That's going to like be the answer to the question.
Right. I 100% agree with this entire article. Like, it talks basically about how it goes into the same like industrial revolution when when the computer came around, when electricity came around, when the printing press came around, that it all eliminated some things but opened up opportunities for other areas that you couldn't even know, right? It's one of those like if 60% of the people doing their jobs, like those jobs didn't exist in the 1950s, and like, it has stuff like that. And I feel like I totally agree when AI is a tool, which right now it is. It's like not good enough to work on its own for the most part. You really got to massage it. The expectations are that you're not just going to use it canned out of the box. Like, people are going to recognize it in imagery and in text. And I think like even what we've been saying for a long time, or I've been saying, is like, as long as it goes slow like this and humans can sort of catch up and do things and use it as a tool and it not replace people, then it's going to leave more and more people behind for sure who don't want to do that. It's going to be quicker than the internet left people behind. But like, we'll go on and we'll use it as a tool, right? What I just don't know is like how fast this is going to happen. And if it happens like that, you get to that AGI can do an entire company's worth of positions like in 5 years, then that's where I feel like it's not a tool at that point. Like, we are the tools at that point that it's using.
Okay, I'm gonna say something maybe a little controversial here, but like, I could see AI still needing to like direct physical like people to do things, and people will just be like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna do the thing.
Oh yeah, well,
like,
if you want
to do the physical thing,
if you want to be if you want your kids to go to college, have them go to college for a subsistence farmer, because like at some point when everything else is taken over by stuff, you'll just be like, all right, I'll just like tend my own little garden and do my own little stuff that is just like me and humans, and it'll just be all taken care of, and I'll just have media fed to me.
Right. So here's my take on this, and I'm gonna go back. And you said something just a minute ago, is that if you take yourself through time, and I'm not some historian here, so don't take my advice on any of this, but if you start to look back in time, and so I probably say my historical knowledge is pretty like thin in terms of like certain technology advancements over time.
Sure.
Maybe I go back to like the turn of the century, from the 1800s and 1900s and like and things like that. So think about the office worker of today. Like, back in the day, it was really important to be able to type something on a typewriter, put it in a file cabinet, and do some of those pieces, right? And now, like, computers that came in, now you can type a digital file, you can share it, and you can collaborate, you can do those things. Like, that's what AI is. And now you're just doing things different than you've done before, and you've like just closed the gap on being able to be more efficient.
Sure.
So individuals can do more things,
Yeah.
but you need more individual do more efficient things to move us further into the future.
The only argument I have against that, and I mostly agree with that, like the main argument that I have against it is like from the 1900s that you're saying, there's a lot of stuff that is still the same. Like you still go to a schoolhouse for 8 hours a day and you learn a thing. You still go to your job for 8 hours a day and you work on a thing and you work for a boss who the boss makes more money than you, like in that type of like hierarchy of everything that goes with it. So like in some ways it hasn't changed all that much. It's like what you're doing in your productivity is more, right? And those things change over decades and decades and decades, right? Like introducing computers, there was, decades that like took into companies and internet and all of that kind of stuff. And I just feel that like if it advances too quickly, we're not going to be able to catch up to that and sort of make the process.
But that's what I'm going against is that like, yeah, the technology can advance, but our ability to even leverage it can't advance it that fast.
I guess that's true, but then it leaves more people behind, right? Because there's people, but then like, what do you do with those people who are left behind?
You're absolutely right on that. I mean, like there's going to
like
be...
it can only be like if only 20% of your population is like smart enough and great enough to be like, oh, I'm going in and I'm using that and I'm building that and I don't need as many people anymore. Then like what happens to those people?
But you don't need those people, but you need enough people to do the new stuff. And I guess that's what it's saying. It said like it won't affect if you're gonna go and you're gonna act like it's the 1990s and you're gonna do your job like it's the 1990s. You're not gonna be very valuable.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do your job like what it is now, and you're gonna be able to produce different results, it's like it's kind of like the carrot. You're moving the finish line a little bit further out.
But even if 100% of those people took on AI and did it as well as any of us are using AI in their job, you wouldn't need as many of them
for the old. But you wouldn't need anything for the old way of doing things.
Yeah. Yeah. I if it goes with the normal, I hope it does. I hope it goes with the normal sway of technology, right? Where it eliminates some jobs, but then makes a whole bunch of new cool jobs. I just think it's scarier and scarier as the timeline compresses.
Absolutely. I mean, we get to I think we've actually been really good about not going down the philosophical rabbit hole lately. Totally. We've been talking about pretty logically, like where we're headed, where the things are at. I would say if I were to wrap on this conversation, is it AI going to create jobs? Is it going to kill jobs? Get into leveraging AI in a way that helps you, not just like, don't think about it as the easy button. Think about it as now you got an assistant to help you to make decisions faster that usually you have to percolate on a little bit deeper, or it would take you longer to do things. Or, hey, you going to read those emails? Nah, that person just wrote 5 paragraphs. Get that thing summarized and then AI figure out what the hell they want. Move on with your day. Like do things that are going to help you get through your stuff faster. So you're not spending so much time on a bunch of BS that's not going to get you through the day.
We did a survey at my company and said how many people use ChatGPT or similar AI generation in at least once a week. Before that, the company has about 60 people in it. It's about 15%.
15?
15%.
That kind of makes sense.
And I was like, we have to run a AI prompt like workshop right like immediately.
Got to get this on the rails.
Yeah.
But see, this is what I was saying like in higher ed, and I'll and I said I was going to wrap earlier, but maybe since you brought that up, let me give this other anecdote. Is that when I had this conversation at work today, it wasn't even today, it was this week, is the person that I was discussing was still contemplating using calendaring in Microsoft Office.
Using what?
Calendaring
what is that?
Using the calendar.
Oh, the calendar.
Sending an invite and keeping people in there. And I was like, we're to the point of talking about using AI to move yourself forward, and you haven't adopted a technology that's been around for this amount of time.
I use the calendar What was wrong
They
with
weren't
using the calendar? Oh,
they weren't using
calendar?
it. They're like,
okay,
oh,
I
guess
see.
what? I put things on my calendar, but I don't use it to like schedule meetings with other people.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
I don't know how many people online, and I don't know, I would love to hear this, is they put out hey, I would like to have a meeting. I'm like, great, my calendar is up to date. Schedule me. Go look at my calendar because I have it open. I share it with everyone.
Yeah.
You find the block, get me in, and we're on for the day. And this person hadn't got to that point. And so when I started showing them, like I showed them an AI assistant, I'm like, hey, when you're saying that students are prompting and you're trying to like look at it, I'm like, let me explain how this works right now. I'm like, they are not saying, write me an essay on this topic, period, or whatever prompt. I said, they create an assistant that said, here's my tone as a person.
Yeah.
Here's how I say things.
Totally.
Here's all the details that I have. They pre-prompt it. Then they write the article. I mean, maybe not all of the people, but they write the article, feed it into that, and then it spits it out almost in their voice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're thinking that people are literally putting a sentence, hitting enter, and then copying, pasting that into the discussion board.
And part of that was the AI art conversation is how much effort do you put into it?
I think
like
that's the other
effort
thing,
is
intentional.
effort part of it, like of what makes it interesting or what makes it worthwhile to put out into the world is how much effort you put into it.
They put their appointments in the same default folder.
Nice.
Oh, it is so true. All right, let's lighten the load. I feel like if we had an AI looking at us right now, I'm pretty sure it'd say, Adam, you've been yapping way too much.
Way too much.
Way too much. More than you. Like I did this
Man.
once. I felt like I wasn't talking a lot, and they're like, Adam, yeah, you talked a little bit more. And I can't remember what I was looking at. But there was an assessment, and I was like, shit, sorry. I definitely.
This is the Walmart. This is the 3D printed Walmart.
I do, but I feel like there's an ad here that I don't want to
Yeah.
anybody to show.
Well,
so we're gonna
in
let
2
this
seconds we
ad.
can-
I love this ad because I know it and nobody sees it. It's like, you can't make any stuff with Amazon. Burn sending stuff to people. You can do it with AI. All right. Okay. Here's the deal. This is the one that I put on here. What I liked about it was 3D printing has been a part of the channel since the inception.
Yeah.
That's what born this channel.
Totally. That's where it started. Before AI was the thing, it was the 3D printed. That's what we were excited about.
And so what I found is that I was like, how pervasive is it? Like, what's the advancements that have been going on with 3D printing? And you know what I do?
We talk about housing in 3D printing quite a bit.
We talked about housing. We talked about just like the practical aspects of it.
Because I'm done. I'm done with 3D printing tchotchkes. I want legit like society movement ahead with 3D printing.
And one of the articles we talked about in the last like maybe 2 or 3 episodes is that they were saying like 3D printing is like proverbially like
That looks like shit.
jerking themselves off because they've been saying like, we're going to adjust this with this 3D printer. We're going to do this thing with the 3D printer. I'm going to talk about that. And I love that like your look was the crap, but there is some practical aspects about it. But what they were saying is that 3D printing as like a hobby hasn't been great because they keep like solving little small issues, things that don't like move it forward, but they're like, oh, we're going to do this little thing. They're like, okay, that's niche and that's your thing. This video talks about one of the first industrial 3D printed additions to Walmart. And so while you say it may look like shit, which you're maybe right, that is not the finished part of it. So, and this is a great piece right here. He's talking about the threshold. So see how it goes right there and there's that bar that goes across. Usually you would have to frame that out and you'd have to spend a lot of work to get that piece of the infrastructure setting up. So I don't even know if my mouse can. So see this part right here? And he's talking about the threshold and he's saying like, normally you'd have to put all of this other structure and other stuff in the wall, but you put one piece in there and it took like, I think like 5 to 7 moves of the 3D printer to make this entire structure. And it reduced the time that it took to make this particular structure like considerably. And most of the
just
work,
like pouring concrete into a slab and putting the slab up.
because putting the slabs up was like a pain in the ass and all of this other work that it took. And then like specific measurements and all this, like this thing just does the stuff. And then they have to shove in some different pieces. And they're like, hey, this is, it doesn't look great here, but we're going to slap on some walls on this anyway, like we would do in any project.
Sure.
And they're like, the way that and the amount of time it took to make this happen was amazing and fast.
Yeah, like I feel like, yeah, you're right, totally. Who cares what it looks like? I just felt like it looked like it was gonna like fall over, but as long as it doesn't, I'm sure they tested all of that. Those seams are good.
Oh yeah.
And so if it does it faster than just pouring cement into a mold, which I assume is how they do normal walls, and then trucking it over to the Walmart and setting it up, if it's faster and cleaner and better than that, then great. It just always feels like we're still at the testing phase, like I would love to see, in 6 months that this has been done to 75 Walmarts, like not just a thing that is sort of for publicity.
I don't think like this video was not, what is it? 300. This was I'm just looking, massive project, not a lot of subscribers, 314,000, which is considerable. Not as much as Double Drop Down.
Of course,
but,
not.
But
few are.
So I've watched the video. I listened to it, and what they were talking about was like, how does this start to become an industry? So a lot of the folks spend a lot of their time setting up the 3D printers, like the construction. This guy, traditional construction worker. And so he spent a lot of his life being the foreman or the person that helps like assess crews. And he's like, the benefits and safety in getting these things up and setting it up in a specific way is much better. So it's like, you may not get the building faster and the efficient, like the CEO isn't being like, great, you just built 10 Walmarts like in 2 days, which it usually took like 2 years.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're creating things in improving the life of a construction worker or somebody that's building something like this.
No, well it's almost like if this is just the new way to like get cement into wall form, then great. Like, love it. Let's keep doing it. I'm glad.
I just thought it was cool. Number one, 3D printing. I like the idea that we're going towards these different areas here. And here's my big thing. I want to rent a 3D printer from Home Depot, the same as I would rent a backhoe or a truck, and have it print me a greenhouse that with like areas for the windows to be placed in and areas for like the hoses to go in and like so it would water everything. Like how come I can't just have a flat area and be like, great, go ahead and print that and then come back in and truck it away after I'm done, and now I have a sweet garden. So a good question in the chat. What's the infill in those walls? And so I think there was some, and I can't even quote exactly. I don't even know if it says. I don't think it does. Grow fungus on site in 35 days. Okay, that was the first comment in there. But they were talking about, and it doesn't say. I'll go ahead and chuck this video in the chat if you want to watch it. But one of the things that they were saying is that the concentrate is like, it's basically a cement. It's a way that they built those walls so that they would come together in such a way that it would create the structure, and then they would pour cement in the walls. So there's still some, like, it's the hybrid blended model of creating 3D printing at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's what I said too. Is like you could put there's different
Maybe
ways to
it's not,
finish
like,
the
strong
walls. One of the funny things is if you watch 3D printed houses lately, one of the complaints is if you look at the lower layers, like, and if you know much about layers and 3D printing, is that they're all squished down because as you put more and more layers, the pressure squishes it down, so it looks like bad.
Yeah.
And part of the thing is if you do any construction, I don't know. I know you did do construction in your house.
A little bit.
You build the framing up, and sometimes you're like, damn, that looks crappy, and then you throw walls up and you put paint on it and you're like, oh, that's great.
It's great. Yeah.
It like hides all the bullshit.
Right.
Like we're seeing like the BS behind the scenes before it gets to that point.
Yeah. No, that's good. I want to keep, I always felt like 3D printing should be bigger in sort of large scale projects, but it feels like they've had a hard time scaling.
I think we talked about this too, right? Yeah. Remember it started in the 1930s or something, and they created the little 3D printing. So I think it's just, how do you get the machines and the industry to change enough that you have enough?
Your water is about to
Hey,
smell.
thank you for showing that. That was really good. All right, Ryan, you talking? Man, did I skip Runway? I feel
That's
like I
fine.
did. Are we gonna talk? Are we gonna look Runway?
Sure.
Now? All right. Lead us in.
Well, Runway is a company that creates AI stuff, and they do image to video. They do text to video. They do all of. Oh,
Should I watch this?
no! Like, is there? Dang, I put the wrong link. This is what I watched. We could watch it on mute, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we talk about it, let's watch it on mute.
Yeah.
All right, you talk about it.
Yeah, and so they release different versions, and they have a paid version called Runway 3. And one of the cool things that it does is it takes it's video to video.
Video.
Yeah,
That's
see,
according to this
perfect.
guy.
So you would take a normal video of yourself, right? Or you would take any sort of video, and then you can add text to the over the top of it, and then you'd be like, "Oh,
He says that and then he cuts away. All right, come on, bro.
it's killing me. It's a bad cut."
That was a terrible cut. What kind of video you posting in here?
He was doing like fire or
I like
Lego. That was supposed to be like Lego.
That's cool.
Claymation. Yeah, and we did this before. Like we tried some of this, but like that looks pretty neat.
So give me the rundown. What are we seeing here? So how does this work?
It's basically you're taking a clip that's like 7 or like between like less than 10 seconds.
Okay.
And you're uploading it to the system, and then you're writing in like, take this clip but make it claymation. Take this clip but make everyone on fire. Take this clip, and so it sort of like follows
Ooh, that was a good one.
the use of your clip, right? But then it sort of fills in everything else around it based on your prompt. Okay. And we did this, and yeah, he uses this old video game. Like, look at this old video game cutscene, and so it's like, hey, that looks pretty dated. It's like pretty cheesy, Xbox level.
Was that? Oh man, that felt like
I don't know what game that is. No,
I don't think it's like a movie.
But
show. Yeah, anyway.
But then you could be like, now make it as an ultra realistic game. You just drag it in there and say any of that, and it will. Like, we'll see here. And I don't know. I find that neat. Like, especially the idea of using it. Yeah, like look at this new version of it.
Team America, the prequel. God, that guy looks so familiar.
But anyway, I think that's neat. It's like more than a filter. Basically, it's like a new rendered filter that you're putting on top of things. And I like the idea of having that the idea of taking something and my favorite one was when they were walking through the scene
forest. Yeah,
and it was like
good.
the different scenes of it, and having it be in the winter and then having it be in the fall. I feel like that is just a cool art thing to do. I could imagine seeing that in lots of places.
This one looks sweet. He's used this clip a lot. You should like pretend like you're that guy. And this is where I started pulling.
I thought these were good. I don't know who this is, but
the way he described it.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Good. His name is Theoretically Media.
Theoretically Media.
I gave him some credit in the thing. There's this YouTube video. He apparently is a musician.
And he had this one with fire. Hold on. Yeah, and you can change it. You can be like, oh, I want this like super dramatic, or I want this, old timey Western, or settings that you could set it to.
So he's talking about I like the claymation. I hate that they cut away from the claymation. That was like sweet before. So
we should watch like an actual. There was some.
Oh, I want to watch this. This is good.
Well, he was like that was the worst one. That's like the VHS or something version of it.
It looked like a filter.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see the fire surfer. Like
surfer
I feel like
on a lava.
Yeah.
Fire. That seems okay.
That's good.
Right?
Very AI good. Like I was like a little thing on his ankle was on fire.
Yeah, but So people were doing some interesting.
So last session we had video games that were getting emulated. We're getting videos we're just getting deeper. We're going down the rabbit hole. We're gonna be watching a bunch of AI. Like, how close are we, Ryan, to being able to say, "Hey, I love like The Matrix.
Yeah,
I want my next movie experience to feel very Matrixy. So put that on this movie so that I feel the ambiance and what The Matrix was like."
It's custom everything, right? I keep saying that, custom everything. So you'll have Netflix will put out a movie and you'll be like, yeah, but like it knows who I am and it knows I want a little like funny, witty comedy thing bits in there too, and it'll add that in there, and it'll like my style, and it'll know that I enjoy actors of this sort of genre. And it will just like customize everything. Even we won't even be able to watch Game of Thrones and talk with each other about, you know, the power of the ring or whatever the Lord of the Rings one, because we'll all be watching different versions of it and not even be able to discuss it.
The story will be different.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like this is an ad.
This is just an ad.
Yeah, this is not good. No, but I think I think it's cool to see kind of where we're headed, and also scary to see where it. Tell me we're already there, because like we all watch the same already different media. Now we're just customizing it a little deeper.
It's siloed for sure. Like, you know, there is no like what live sports are about the only sort of thing.
AI version of sports.
Well, but
Jesus.
even like you need to. You know, I feel like sports is the thing where it's like it has to happen in real life, and it has to happen, you know, with people doing it, and you got to be able to like have it at a certain time of day so that everyone can get together and eat nachos and care about it.
Yeah, I mean that's about the only. What's going to be funny is when you have like somebody that's like a multimedia influencer, and they're like, "All right, I'm gonna put my version of how this game should go," and then people bet and watch that version of it. It's gonna be that's how the future is.
It's instead of football, it'll be some like entertainment version of football that's just generated and made to really hit all our synapses of
oh my god
dopamine hits.
It is.
Are we gonna play a game?
All right. Who wants to play some Jackbox? Anybody ready for some Jackbox time?
Get it set up and
like tell me what Jackbox game we should play tonight. That's the question.
Everyone can pick.
We're playing one round. I think Stealth Mouse sweeped last time when we were on this version of it. So, all right, let me get this all squared away. I got to get my Xbox controller, which it doesn't match my glasses. Yeah, I thought it did, but it's close. All right, I'm going to get some Jackbox going. So one of the things is, if you haven't played, get out your phones, jackbox.tv. You want to get to that website, and we're going to get this thing on the road tonight. Just as a side note, before I got in the show, I actually took a nap tonight. And I did not have the energy that I have right now. Okay, jackbox.tv is where you want to go to. But Ryan comes in, he gets me all like ready to go, and we have a chit chat, and we're in the show. Wait, is it Jackbox? Oh, I put Jackbox RV. We're not in an RV tonight. We're on TV. What game we playing, folks? We need to know some games. Otherwise, we don't know where we're gonna go. Oh, you don't want to see that. We want to see this. You're going to see my password, get logged in, and then we're going to figure out which game we're playing this evening. So last time we played, what was it? The Murder Party, and I think we played one of the other ones. So let's see, we have Drawful. We haven't played Drawful. Oh, we did play Drawful last time. I feel like we need to do a TKO. Who wants to do some TKO tonight? Anybody? I'm down for some TKO. Let's do should we do the original TKO, or do you want to do the new one?
Original.
Original. Ryan said original. Okay, we're going to OG. We're going to OG style. Where was TKO on this? Make ourselves small. You don't need to see us big. Yes, I'm going to exit. There it is. The T-shirt battle original TKO. Go to jackbox.tv. Join in on TKO. Here we go, folks. Ryan wants to
Ready.
be the lead. Bastard. Does it have the number? Is it ready to go? All right. Ryan, I get a race. Ah! Ah! I had to push the button before, and Ryan got it. Good job. Good job. We're going to give everyone just a minute.
Oh, I need a water.
Yeah. Don't steal my good ones. We got Becky in. Who else is going to play? Jackbox TV. Come on, Gray Hat Zebra. You need to get in on this. It will take about 15 minutes. 15 minutes of your time. You got that, right? Come on, come on. We're gonna hit the go button at 9:10. 9:10. You have 9:10 to get into this game. Oh, I gotta pick a character here. Let's see. Mike Azul. Oh shit! Did you just start it?
Nope. I went back.
Okay, good.
I thought it just said fight, and so I pushed it. This is it, probably, right?
Maybe we're gonna give it one more chance.
All right.
All right. We got the team in. I feel like this is the team. this is the team. Oh wait, did you put my? Damn it! I didn't get to hit submit on my sweet victory chant.
That never shows up anywhere.
Welcome to
I was gonna put
TKO.
I eat nugs, bro, all day.
Nice.
Well, actually, I'm his identical twin brother, but he's at the dentist, so I'm filling in.
Nice.
I beckoned you here to T-Shirt Island for one reason and one reason only. To engage in deadly T-shirt battle and maybe play some foosball if there's time. Okay, that's 2
Ooh.
reasons.
Everyone loves foosball.
Foosball is great.
It's epic combat.
Your journey to victory begins here, at the training grounds. You will use your device to draw 3 drawings. Draw anything that pops into that little head of yours. If nothing
that's why
pops,
these ones are
just
hard.
hit the suggestion button.
Wait, we gonna
Begin
theme
your
it?
first drawing.
Oh,
now.
are we? Well, I feel like it's too late.
Game Boy. Game Boy themes.
Game Boy is the theme.
If you know Game Boy. You can do whatever you want tonight.
Yeah,
We didn't say anything. Way more colors. So I used to draw full. I did a bad job.
That time is not for decoration. Finish quickly.
Oh god, you gotta submit it.
Oh, hopefully it just.
But let's see a little variety.
Hopefully it just
You can
submitted
change your
mine.
line thickness with that
Wait,
little
are you?
button
Could
know.
you have done multiple
On to
pictures?
drawing number 2.
Oh wait, that's number 2. Okay, gotcha.
What? Mine's still here.
Alright, sucks.
Boo. I feel like it should just auto submit it.
Oh, on the first one they didn't do that. If you don't hit the button.
You don't hit the button, you're out. I feel like it doesn't give you enough of like a warning.
Just one more to go.
They learned it
Wow,
in,
my
in version
babies.
2.
Yeah. Like I need like a 30-second.
Ryan gets too in depth with his drawings, that's why.
It's true.
My drawings are so bad this time.
Oh man, I had 20 seconds. I should have looked before I should have done it.
Still must have, how do you have 3?
Because she was the only one who entered the first one. Everybody else like defaulted or
Seriously.
You show promise. Most of you.
I thought I
For
hit
your
enter
last
on the first one.
exercise, you will write
first
as
one?
many slogans or phrases as you can. Something short and snappy like you might see on a t-shirt. And don't forget that suggestion button if you're stumped. Go. I'm looking for like 3 or 4 from each of you. Does that seem doable? Just give it a shot. Time goes short. Hurry up and finish already.
Oh, the last one was gonna be so good.
This is gonna
Brad
be
Butt.
good. Training complete. Now take a look at your device. The fates have blessed you with a series of pictures and slogans. Select one of each to create your t-shirt champion. I don't want to pressure you, but a lot is riding on this.
One. We're only doing one.
Yeah, remember this one is like, it's a little like more muted in terms of what it does.
Fantastic. Our combatants are ready. Let the tournament begin.
I kind of like, I like this one.
It's slower.
You can't
like,
edit
which
it.
is good.
Oh god, good taco.
Fight. And by fight, I mean enter your votes on your device.
Oh god, this is good. Deuce me bro is hilarious because you would crap a
Time
taco.
vote so soon.
Uh-oh.
Well, personally, I like this one.
Yes.
A new challenger appears.
Oh, that's a good. That's
Go
a good
ahead
drawing.
and fight already.
Whoa.
Yes.
Deuce me, bro.
Especially, it's great when you get to vote for your own shirt.
Versus. Fine.
I'm glad I figured out the like timeout period for the Xbox. Remember it used to like go dark?
Yeah.
Shut up your damn face.
One.
Slogan 1.
Dang.
A new challenger appears.
Oh jeez.
Man, these are like violent.
People are
A middle finger of a Tasty's Nuts shirt would be pretty good.
that's a pretty quality shirt there. I'm gonna hoodie
It's a
to
quality
that.
shirt. It's a quality shirt. That makes sense.
Winners. Yeah. How about a training break?
Back to the dojo.
Use your devices to enter one new drawing and as many new slogans as you wish.
Okay.
Make me proud. Go.
Doesn't it have a count? Oh, it does. 10,
Only
9,
seconds remain.
8, 7, 6,
I guess.
4,
Magazoo!
2, 1. So he blended it. Oh God!
All
Oh,
right.
Azul. He probably went away from it. Oh shoot.
Oh, good. Brad Butt still queued up for me from last time.
Make haste before time runs out.
Oh, my last one. Fat old dumb.
The second gauntlet is upon us. And the
Is it? I love how it's
of
just
Lady
like
Luck has shuffled your
The
drawings and
most
slogans. Do what feels right.
the most top of mind stuff of those.
Oh yeah, it's like terrible. Oh, you can't even change the color of the. Oh, shirt, can you?
No.
Yeah, the original one, like they adjusted it on
I've
two.
got a
I
good
like
feeling
one
about
though.
this
It's good.
Still has this
Old
thing.
school.
Gauntlet 2. Versus.
All right. What does that say? Bye,
Mom.
bye, mom. Ah, good one. Who is that? Oh, our faces are taking up. Good job. Okay.
Versus
Yeah, I think the theming one is good. These are random because remember, Drawful feels like
Let's see, you made it.
mama jokes going all day long.
versus fight.
Oh shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
Fish Sticks made it.
Yeah, Becky.
Versus fight for me, baby. Fight.
That is like a dragon.
Oh, Fish Sticks. Good job, Fish Sticks.
You know, fish sticks, right?
It's pretty good. I told you we
Winner.
bought one of these once, right?
How did it come out? Was
It
the
came
print
out good. Yeah, totally.
You
It
should
was
have
good.
worn one to the show.
Hey, you know, it was my
The
son's.
final gauntlet is here, and only the best shirts
my
from the
drawing
previous rounds
and
remain.
Kathy's
The tournament
Slogan.
or my slogan and Kathy's drawing. And it was a guy, and he's like has really big eyes, and he's like looks all cracked out. And then my slogan was "Kick yourself in the nuts." So he has a "Kick yourself in the nuts" T-shirt.
That taco was awesome. I'm sorry. Because you eat
Those are
tacos.
both good. Those are both
They're
good. Yeah,
great.
Deuce Me Bro is like. pretty good. Also, because it's my shirt that I did, so I'll say it's great.
Versus attack.
Sorry, Fish Sticks.
There's too much color in Deuce Me because you eat a taco, you're gonna crap it out, right?
Exactly. Like,
Or
if he
you
was-
deuce him.
If he was like a giant mascot, you'd be like, "Deuce me, bro."
Oh no,
What?
Mystics
Fish
won!
Sticks. It was a come from behind victory.
Becky with the
Damn.
come behind.
Man, I never thought it could happen.
Champion.
Nice.
My work here is done.
Oh, man, I
But
went
if
from
you
first
ever
to,
need
like,
me, you know what to
nothing.
do. Play the game again is what I mean.
Good job.
Good. That was
That
fun.
was good. Dang, Fish Sticks. In the end, pulled it out.
They didn't even have slogans.
Nice.
Yeah.
3 slogans.
Champion. Well, that's a cute-
Yes. 4
Best
shirts.
artist. Hell yeah. In many lucrative endorsement deals from a while, Becky's official mascot for Scalio's breakfast cereal with a lifelike snakeskin texture and the ideal failed instantly. But Becky has been paid up front, so it's all basically worked out. It's also turned out Becky was immortal. I love that.
Nice.
That was
It
great.
feels like it was sort of written by AI, but I bet it wasn't.
I know. That was pre-AI. Thanks for
Yeah.
hanging out on the Jackbox channel with us tonight. I think we are going to jump in. What is the time? 9:30, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think that
We
is
got an hour and a half.
an appropriate amount of time
Totally.
for us to jump into it.
So the project. I assume
Oh, wait.
everyone
Mike
knows,
Azul had a
but
delay? I'm sorry, Mike Azul.
I don't know the delay because when you see it through the thing, it's delayed, so you don't know when to turn it in.
You need to get that fiber. You got T-Mobile fiber.
So we are creating a Game Boy game through a platform called GB Studio, and we've been doing it basically since the first of the year, right?
Absolutely.
And so 9 months, and but it's just like on and off. Adam has been super on, so that's been great. So we're gonna play the new version of the game, and it's gonna have some new art in it too that I was able to do. So it's cool.
So I just gotta say, I don't know if I should do this before or after or what. I have been spending probably too much time in this
Too
thing.
much time.
And so, Stealth Mouse, thank gosh that we don't necessarily live in the same house, because you would probably be kicking me in the nuts how much time I've spent on this thing. But it's also been therapeutic. I feel like it's a personal journey for myself to get away from some of the work stuff I'm dealing with.
You could be rebuilding a 57 Firebird or something like that
absolutely
in the garage,
true.
but you're doing this.
And what I would just love is like that people enjoy this, because I've been putting Easter eggs and doing all of this stuff. Like I have put way more work than I think I should on things. And so, for instance, this last weekend, I put the comp fair and all those things. So Heather made this awesome thing at her work that she did. Anyways, as far as the game is concerned, it has been like I've been dreaming about it. There was this thing that I did, and I told you I'd talk about this on the show, and then we're gonna get into it. And actually, what I'll do is I'm gonna just put
this infinity mirror up.
Yeah, the infinity mirror. That's what we want to look at here. So this is inside of the game itself. And so one of the things that I had been doing is this last week, I've been spending a lot of time doing tweaks in it. And you guys have seen, like, you're like, what could you possibly spend hours in, Adam? Because they're putting the same damn thing over and over, and you keep putting it out there. And behind the scenes, I've been doing a lot of work. One of the things I just wanted to give like an example of, so we're going to go into one of the environmental effects in just a second here. So I did a neon sign, and we're going to get to see Ryan's playthrough on this. Is that...
Yeah, do we just want to play through it?
We're going to play through it, but I wanted just to give some context, because you're not going to get to see this. But see this little like behind the scenes, like when you click on a scene, off on the right-hand side, it brings up like, what are the coding things? What are the little things that you want to happen on the scene? And then there's not just like, so when the scene initializes, what should you do?
Yeah.
When your player gets hit, what should you do? And then like in these things that are in this like initialization of the scene, there's moments where it will say like, oh, cool, go call this script that you wrote and run it really quick so it runs on the scene.
Yeah.
And there's multiple versions of that script. And I just wanted to show you this beforehand, because I feel like I've spent so much time. I want 1 minute to just like say like I've been doing these things.
Yeah.
Is they go off to the side, and like I'm going to give you an example of this environmental neon sign that I created off to the side. And so when you run it, the neon sign, oh, there's this one little event. And then I open it up, and when I start to say like, when you turn on the sign, and we'll get to see this, I'm just going to scroll down. Every one of these like gray boxes here, I have to manually say, hey, go here, insert event, pick the event that I want. Once you pick the event, then it puts it in, configure the settings, go to the next.
Right.
And if I just scroll down here,
is that like for each tile?
Every tile, and like, and there's a bunch of other logic. You're like, when this variable ticks off, when you do this thing, you need to make this happen and run this script so this thing happens. And so I know it's a bunch of BS. Y'all don't care about it, but I'm saying I'm spending a lot of my time like testing the game, putting these things in, going back and forth.
Is that something that's I mean, I don't know if you know, but like in other sort of more advanced gaming platforms, this stuff would be more like automated.
No, but that's the thing. It's not. It's like, I wouldn't say this is like because it's Game Boy. This is just logic. It's like writing scripts that say, hey, if you're doing a thing, you need to think about these other elements. So would it be maybe easier, or would you have to do less of one thing but more of another? Yeah, absolutely you would. And so what the game does is every one of these little things that you see, and if I zoom in on certain aspects of it, we're going to look at it. Like, let's just take a character, for example. There is a character in one single scene, and this is AB, which means alien biologist.
That's right.
And if I click on alien biologist, you're basically saying, in this scene, what are everything that you can do with this particular person? And so when you interact with the person, you have to say, well, what button interacts with the person? And then once you interact, you don't want him to be going through his little walk cycle. So you're saying, hey, you got to put him in a state of being paused. And then you're saying, go and do whatever these next steps are. So there's a bunch of stuff I'm not going to go through. But then it's like saying, well, you got to say an option. Do you want to talk to him, or do you want to not?
Yeah.
And then if you say you don't want to talk to him, well, cool. What do? You dip out. If you say you want to talk to him, you do this. And then there's all these other things that says, well, guess what? You might talk to him multiple times. So if you talk to this other person, should
Yeah,
he
I
say
feel
this
like-
or that?
Right. That's where it gets like, seems like it would get extra complex, especially for main characters who do lots of different things.
But in this scene, and so here's just like, I wanted to give you the quick rundown. So like, let's say you go to this character, and so I click on him. This is where I want you to understand it. Like, it's hard to say, like, once we commit to something, we got to kind of like say that's the story point. So we come into the character, and at this scene, there's two things you can do. Well, there's three technically. One, you can say, do you want to talk to him or not? But when you first talk to the character, and we're going to play this in a second, every time you talk to him, he's going to say like some weird gibberish.
Mm-hmm.
And so you notice this in this else statement. So it's basically, and I'll explain what that means in a second. This might help you understand it. So what I'm essentially saying is, if you get into the scene and you pick to talk to the person, great, you pick to talk to him. So then once you make the talking discussion happen, you have two things. If he has interacted with Roby and D, so this is like a little statement that I wrote that basically says, there's a variable that says, yes, you interacted with this other, that there's an interaction that happened, then you talk to D, then run this script to have this conversation happen.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done that yet, any other possible scenario, he should always say this.
Yeah.
So I have to think about like all of the different interactions on this character to say, like, say this every other time, but once you do these other things, now you can start to go in the interaction.
It feels like it needs to be sort of mapped out on that mural board more than it is, because like you wouldn't want to have to go in here and change all of this afterwards.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Because yes, it should be. In 100%, I looked at the mural board. In practice, it takes like it. You almost can't program it on a mural board. When you get it and you test it, you start realizing, oh wait, crap, yeah, he needs to interact with this door and this thing.
No,
and then
totally.
so I felt myself like I would go in, play the game. Oh crap, that thing happens. Go back. Add a piece of code, do it again. So I felt it was a little bit more organic. And if we had a bigger team and testers that helped us.
Yeah.
So,
but so would you say that you learned enough from this like beginning level that you would know more how to set up like the next parts of the level?
100%.
Like that? Okay.
And I put it into practice.
So then maybe you could set up a mural board with like more of that kind of stuff. Okay.
And what I guess I'm saying is, once we get to a point where we're like, let's say we put it in a mural board and we say this is what it's going to be, like we have to keep that theme, so to speak, and we can kind of tweak it a little bit. But at this point, the first levels of this are pretty locked in, and so I think we gotta run with it. We can tweak some of the parts, but you have to talk to this person, then you have to talk to this person, then this door, and this door, and this door, and it creates a thing. So this, Ryan, when was the last time you played the game, like fully through?
Last time, probably.
On the stream?
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be a different experience, and I want to see, and I'm going to time it, and then see how long it takes you to get to the end of this game. So we have it right now is you're plugged into the analog pocket. I have it loaded as an actual pocket game, so you're going to almost do it as a full game playthrough at this point.
Awesome.
So let's go to this. Oh, I need to change the screen here, so we'll go over to that. All right, so go down to Tools, and then DB Studio, and then you should be able to find Play Creations. There you go.
045.
I'm excited. This is like.
All right.
Is it good on that screen?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see here. I don't know if you.
Okay.
Too big. Yeah, that's gonna be too big.
Too big.
Okay, so just before you hit start, go to development, and I want to talk about this for a second. So I've been working on development. One of the new features that you're going to see in the game, just so there's some awareness, is see at the very bottom that there is a black bar now. This is my new addition to the game that we're going to get to play. So Ryan can play in the development mode. And so this is an example for you, is that you use the development screens to like play on a map and do some of the work so that you're actually loading the full engine and all the work that we've done. And then it drops into this world.
Yeah.
And so you can save the game. I think you have to A. You can see like all the menus. You get a full version of what this game might look like. You can put on.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
AB.
You can't beat him yet.
All right, his
He's
throat.
like, I am invincible.
All right.
So the reason, okay, so here's the thing. If you go to options now, you should be able to go to exit game and exit the game and start over again.
All right. Nice. That is good.
So that was a new feature.
Okay.
So Ryan's gonna play it from the get go. Let's
Okay.
do the game. So you get to see some colors.
Totally.
I don't know if we should read it. Hey babe, yuck. I know it. I know things. Yuck. I know. Let me check things out. So it stinks in here. First mission. And Ryan, I
Okay.
want you to play it as though you would play this. Like, I don't want to give you any hints. You know a little bit about it, but play the game like you would normally play the game. Like,
Okay.
what would be the things you would do? So we saw the logic behind that. You talk to him.
Mhm.
Anytime you talk to him, that would happen. I already see a problem that I had, but that's okay.
She said something about the alley earlier. Okay. I don't think she said anything about the alley yet.
And so one of the things that I have to play through it a bazillion times to find the things that are challenges. So think about the storyline. She may have said something with the alley before the story started.
Sure.
So it's more of like,
Later. Can I get it yet? No.
X out of everything there. Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is a new little part here. Nice.
I'm working on like the hit damage, and you might be careful because you might die. I'm not sure if you would. And it,
Oh, it is. It's killing me. Do. Oh, nice. I love that. I want to like jump off of it though.
I know that's actually something
Like,
we can do.
I want to like jump to the other side.
So
Needs a battery to restore power to the lift. Oh, look at this little tiny door.
it's cute.
It's so cute.
So this is where we need to put some effort here, because I would say, like, my thought is that you need some Ryan love on this.
Yeah, well, see, and this is another thing. Like, we got to get this. We got to get this actually how we're going to play it before I put a bunch of.
New feature.
Oh, nice. Okay. And what happens if I jump in? Ah, I'm getting hit.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I can't double jump. I can't do anything. Let's see.
It's dirt. It's so technically you're in like a sewer at this point. So should he swim? Maybe. Probably.
Huh.
So one of the things about the water, since we're at this point, is so there's some constraints to it. It's definitely okay. That's not flowing like it should, so that's bad. I'll have to figure out why that's not flowing. But it still has that water feel to it. But one of the things is that as you get into that, it will hurt you if you're in it too long. But you can get out of it. Like if you get it out fast enough, it won't hurt you.
Right. I feel like he needs to like blink or something.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs some sort of like indication that he's in it. Well, he does shake when you're getting hit.
He does. He shakes when you're getting hit, but you don't realize it until. Okay. All right.
You were down, just a side note, to half a heart.
Yeah.
Like you will literally die if you get hit another time. So this is great. This is great because you have a little test here. Did you see that up there? What did that look like? That was a battery. You can't get up there anymore, though.
No, I can't get up
You're
there.
stuck.
Stuck. I gotta jump down.
So I would imagine is you're gonna be fixing this world to make it look nice.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I want to press down and have him like,
It's like
you know how
down,
like you know how like go like the camera will go down.
This is kind of like, oh, that was a good jump. That was part of the fun of it. It's like, can you get through it? I love the pressure. This is awesome.
Nice. I'm running all the way back like Mario.
And if you hold B, I think you'll sprint. Oh, you have to do. I love that happened. I love that happened.
But now I only have half a little heart.
You still have a half heart, but you know what you need to do at least. This is great. I love it. He looks so cool when he goes up that little thing. I was thinking you could add another like animation frame to his run cycle, make it look smoother too.
Yeah.
Because this is like original. He was the first animation we did of anything.
Yeah. Down then?
Oh. How you gonna get back, Ryan? Yeah. See, this is fun. I'm excited. Okay, so we started at. You've been in on this at least 7 minutes, 8 minutes. This is great. Oh God. There's only one way to get health too at this point, and it's you have some challenges ahead. If you get this through this. If you sprint fast enough, you should get over this part. All right, good job.
There we go. I'm gonna die at like this stupid part.
Oh, I love it. You made this level. This is your level.
And mine was without the little helper blocks, but I had us double jumping at this point. So
yeah, well, I had to do it based off what you would have at this point. That was a tough jump. So this next part that I built, a lot of logic to figure out how to make this work. See, it turns into like you put the battery
happy. Yeah, that's good.
And then I had to like adjust his jump height because you're going up so fast. So if you were just on a normal like platform right there, you would jump to the top of the screen.
Really?
But because it's going up so fast, I had to like it seems like it's normal. So oh God, be careful of that.
Because I can't get any more health, right?
No. I mean you can. There's one place, but it's gonna take some time to do that. So you checked out this. See, that was sweet. Like you had a lot of.
Yeah.
This bathroom smells horrible. We have a leak for sure. It's not pretty. Damn it. We need to call a plumber. Hey, Roby. There are rats in the back alley.
She's still white here. I feel like we need to make her like.
We can't
darker.
on that screen.
We only get 2.
Yeah, you can't on the talk screens. That's one of the things that I meant to talk about.
2 colors.
Yeah, it's like you have to keep that just the way it is. One almost me. Please, can you take a look? I don't need rabies. Thanks. Damn rats everywhere. I'll go check it out in a bit, babe. I'll use that cricket bat I found yesterday in case it attacks me.
I was when I was playing it or doing something about it or watching you play it, I was like, we need the Zelda, like I collected a thing, and he like holds it above his head, like that animation of like
totally,
like, and then you put it away, right?
If you gotta make that animation, I'll put it in.
Totally.
And so I like this one because then it puts the skull as like the discussion, like you select.
Exactly.
See, that's why I put exit on, because then it's always the top one.
So it's the top one.
So what's fun is, just so you're aware, if you were to go to any other part of this map at this point, I tested every scenario thus far of what could potentially happen. So I said, what if you go to this door and you've done this part at this stage? And so you have to kind of think like, do you have access to the museum? Do you have access to the bathroom? Do you have access to the storage closet? Do you have access to the attic? Do you have access to the alley? And so that's the hard part where you have to almost say like, what are the things and criteria that you have to have done before you can access this level?
Right. Yeah, and that feels like you could probably do it on a mural board, right?
I absolutely think you can. It would help me a lot. I have no hit damage on him. So like he's still always saying that because we haven't done the things enough to do that. One of the issues, and I'll just show you right now, if you go back to him, notice how the bottom doesn't show your thing at the bottom yet. Like it's going off to the left or whatever. Go out the door on the right, and I'll show you how I troubleshoot. And then come back into the room. Okay, the thing's normal. When you talk to him, what it tells me is that I have to put a call script on him so that when you exit, that it actually recalls that bottom floor. So like that's like a note that I'm already mentally taking. Like
because it's stuck at frame 1 or whatever.
I have to run a script to say, hey, load this so it sticks at the bottom of the screen at that point. Oh God. Okay. This is great. This is Ryan's new level. It looks so amazing. Good job, dude.
Oh, I died.
Oh, that was great. That was so good. Oh, I should have had you save. Oh, we should have tested the save. That would have been great. All right, so you have to do all of that again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is great. So
do I have to talk to everyone?
You do. You have to do the talk. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a full playthrough, see how we can get this to go.
Can I do this right away?
You can do like, and this is where I want you to explore. Like, if you were playing this game, I don't want to give you hints. Like, what would you do?
I would like try not to get hit as much on purpose to show it off.
So the wall slide, I was like, my question is, what are the situations we use it? Because I did put it on everything, and then it was bad. You were like, oh, you don't want the wall slide all the time.
On everything. Yeah.
So I'm almost like, how do we call it? And like, what are the areas that would make the most sense with the wall slide? And so the cool thing is this shows you that once you know what you need to do, you can just like speed run through those parts. So with those, like before you died the first time, it took you like, that was 15 minutes. It's probably 15 minutes, if not a little bit more, just to explore. So I think it's like a 2-second hit time. If you stay in there, maybe it's a little less than 1.5 seconds is that I put on that, and I have to adjust it. Good question, Mike Azul. And that's actually, I'm going to just be 100% transparent and honest. I haven't even attacked that jump. Oh, okay. If you jump when you're in the water, you won't get hit.
I'm blowing it this time.
Yes, you can do some hit damage things, but there's no gravity in Game Boy games. That's a good point. Like, yeah, if like you'd want to use the slide to prevent any hit, like fall damage. One of the things I got to figure out is like, how do you prevent fall damage? And I think it's going to be different because if you don't technically have gravity in the game, so you can't track your like terminal velocity or anything like that. So if you hit a specific amount, then you'd have a certain amount of hit points that come off. But I think I could do some like pretend velocity to say like, if you are falling and have not used wall slide, then hit the person and take damage, versus if you use no wall slide. I don't know. I'm going to have to work on it. There's some plugins as well that I might need to look. You can't do a 4-pixel jump. I love it. Oh. You're down to like, oh wait. So how much hearts do you have right now?
1.5.
Yeah. Okay. So Mark Azul had mentioned last time that he liked, and he was able to see that I was trying to do the heartbeat. So I kind of played into it this time. And so when you have a half of heart, it shows that like your full heart and then half heart, and then you like flatline. And so I was trying to be creative. And
so like flatline is the last hit that you get?
Flatline is you're dead. Like it's just saying like you missed your heart there. You only have half.
Okay.
You have 1.5 hearts at this point. And of course, if you explored, you could turn on like music on the.
Yeah.
Not that you want to, but I'm just saying you can. Plus, as we talk about music, we got our guy. We have a composer in play that's about to do that.
You know what I was thinking when you first get the bat, the very first thing, can it like send you to this
sure.
like loadout screen or something? You know, I feel
sure.
like then you'd be like, okay, I'm choosing it and I'm doing this and I'm having to get out of here.
I need to take like notes on this. Where's my notebook? I'm going to put it on my phone at this point. All right. So the things that I need to do, actually, I'm going to get a note. I need analog feedback.
And of course, I'm sure you have some kind of moleskin something to write in.
No, I have sticky notes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm a big sticky note kind of guy.
Okay, let's try to do this without dying. Yeah, I got him.
The rat.
Okay, it's the new background.
Well, the thing is, let's check it out. I love it. Like, it looks so good, Ryan. You did a great job. Like,
Thanks.
you filled it in such a way that, like, it feels full. Like,
Right.
it feels good.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to do, like, back alley, right? Sort of run down, but also the back of a cool plate, you know, that would have, like, posters and things like that for the bar that it is part of. You know, I wanted you to know that we're still at the back of the bar. I like the idea of like just barrels and beer bottles around. And I had to put birds, of course.
I was loving the birds. I was trying to think, like, should we try to make it to where you walk?
Yeah, like, and they would fly away or something like that. See, this was the part where I was like, oh, you would jump on that, right? And then you would jump over here. But, you know, all of this stuff would have to get, like, moved around. Like, at some point, like, well, I'll have to give you the tiled, you know, file for this with all the different, like, A-Sprite stuff that it's using. But then you can just sort of, these are all, like, the tiled file for this is very organized. And then it has, like, here's all the platforms, right? Here's all of the beer bottles, you know, here's all of the, you know, caskets or things like that. And so it's nice because you could turn them on and you could turn them off and you could just select them all and move them around.
That's great. And I was going to ask you because one of the things I think that tiled can do is it can throw out an A-Sprite file. And the reason that I think A-Sprite is different than tiled is tiled creates a tiled set. And then A-Sprite just is like a singular.
I find A-Sprite really hard to do for that because it doesn't repeat it. And
You're
so
right.
like you got to be like, okay, I just made this little set. And then when I update it here, now it updates it in everything on tiled, which is nice. How do I stand at the bottom of the alley with a fire going? Yeah, I was like, it would be fun to have like a fire in a trash can.
Yeah, that'd be good. This is what's I don't want to tell you. Because that's the fun part. You haven't tried some
like of how to like get through this.
Yeah, like that's the cool part. So I took exactly what you did. I did very minimal things. What else do you have right there that you could potentially jump on?
Oh, right. Nice.
So we have to be careful about this next part because I wanted you to be. I love that folded corner, by the way. Like great, and I loved how you did it. And I think we're gonna see it in just a second. But it's like. Okay, so look at the sign. Go. That's a pull cord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Up. Or I can't remember if it's up or A. Oh, does it not work?
Oh.
Up. Like literally hit up. Oh, you have to. I'll have to check the code on it. But I thought you had to you stay on the pull cord and you hit the up button. Maybe down button? No. None of it works.
No.
A? Shit. The to do and it doesn't do the thing.
No, it doesn't. It's okay.
Oh, you know why? Oh wait, take off your bat. I'm just curious. This is a good testing point. Hit A on it or up on it without the bat. Huh. Wait. While you're here, I'm gonna Oh, you can continue that. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check what the hell is going on there.
Well, and so we should look
It's
at this
B.
background.
It's B. And it doesn't do shit.
No.
What the fish? It has. Okay, we'll work on that in a little bit. And we'll see what that looks like. Because you should be able to pull that on, and then you have like a sweet way that you turn on.
Yeah.
Because like there's the. All right, let's see if you can get through this. Yeah, I love this because I had the problem solve, like how do I get through this to do something? And because I used basically what you had. So I'm curious what you thought you should jump on. This is great.
The torn poster.
Yeah, that I love the torn poster. I was like,
Well,
great job.
So I did a top where it says drink SB. And then, well, I had different like sections you could put in. So some of it says Skull Bob Stout, and some says Drink SB Stout, and some like has where the skull is torn. Somewhere has where it's extra long. I was like, you could add in just like a bunch of different things. And then I was like, oh, it would be sweet if at some point you just thought all of these were out, and then you're like, one's on. You're like, why is the light on inside of like the thing? And maybe like something could go across it or something. Yeah, something like that.
I love that. That could even be a puzzle. Like you have to turn on all three lights to get to the next thing. Okay, now be careful because that thing will hurt you.
Do I need to turn my thing back on?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to try to kill it, but you can jump past it. I'll give you that hint.
Okay.
There's no door there. Hilariously, somebody did not get the double jump. And I did move the pipes up to make that part, so there was some very minimal stuff that I did.
I can't get it?
Nope.
Oh.
I just wanted to see. I knew this. I knew it from the second you were going to like, yeah, check out the alley. I was like, you got to show off your alleyway. There is no way you should be able to get that. I worked on that today.
What happens?
Oh, shoot. You're going to. Oh, God, you might die. You got to be careful. I see. Why did he not update? I need to check that out. Or maybe it did update and I didn't notice.
So I was thinking about this with, as it goes up with these pipes. Basically, I was looking at these pipes and I was like, could I just make a cool sculpture thing out of these pipes and use that as part of backgrounds? Because we could use that for the sewer too.
100%.
And each of these little things, and I was like, yeah, like you could make a whole complicated structure and only have like 6 unique tiles or whatever, 8.
You can absolutely get that. You just can't get it now because you haven't done a thing.
Yeah.
So I think you continue playing.
Oh, this one?
Like you're just not getting this because you haven't. You like now. I think you did what I would think someone would do, where you'd be like, crap, there's a Game Boy there, but I can't get it. Like shoot. All right, fine. I guess I just do the rest of the game, and you keep doing what you would do normally. It looks so good. You did such a good job.
Okay.
Great job, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
So notice something. I don't know if you noticed. You just jumped, and you may have not noticed it. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to.
Jumping and noticing things?
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, nice.
Pipeline and curious cargo for some pipe work. Okay, so Robert Deckard almost died. I should check out the museum.
Yeah. Yeah, here. Yeah, I like that the thing comes up around it.
Yeah, and so what I was thinking, and you brought me this thing, is that you don't want to be hitting A on everything.
Right.
But I did want to say, like, I don't think it needs to be on everything.
Oh, sure. Like
But-
secret stuff or hidden stuff.
But so I don't want to say anything right now, but I'm gonna let you continue playing the game. So you up to this point, like, this is great because I was trying to see, like, what is the playtime? You've been playing like almost 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and like, can you? So what did you do last? What was the? And so this is where if you went to your screen, like in Robbie's notes, it would tell
There
you
would
what
be
you should
some-
do. You're
there'd be
like,
some
you
kind of
killed the
something.
rat. You should go and talk to D again.
I see.
So don't go to the other. Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh wait, hit save right now. Yeah, that way, if we have to get back to it, we should be able to get back. I bopped a rat. Be careful in the alley. There's a weird guy in the back entrance. You know him? Thanks, Roby. This whole bar is due for an overhaul and a cleanup. This guy is probably one of your grandpa's old friends. Send him in and I'll get him a drink. Then would you see what's making those noises in the attics? Thanks, Roby. I want you to do AB's voice.
Okay.
So first of all, before you do that though, look in the lower right hand corner. Like you have the bat and then a square, which means nothing.
Oh, which means nothing. Okay.
So like just for a test,
Yeah.
and this is just since we're testing, like turn off the bat for a second. And then you just hit that quick and see that it
double
nothing.
O's. Yeah.
and
Nice.
so I was really working on this HUD. That was my big thing.
Yeah.
I spent probably 20 hours on HUD in the last week to make
Yeah.
this thing work. And
Nice.
I'll talk about it in a minute, like what I had to do to get the HUD working. But so she kind of said, go get the guy now.
Yeah.
And I love this one. All right, you do the.
Oh, hey, my translator. I had a frog in my throat. Nice place. I used to come to this bar often and visit your grandpa, Bob. Sorry to hear that he passed. He was a good man, my friend.
Thanks. I sure do miss Grandpa. I never had enough time with him. Now they have this bar and all his mysterious artifacts and photos to remember him by. I'll take a while to figure all this out.
It'll be okay, buddy. If you're a Decker, you're resilient. By the way, my name is AB.
Nice to meet you, AB. I'm Roby Decker, Robert's grandson.
It's good to meet you. He talked a lot about you. Said you do big things. I'm going to get a few drinks to take a look around. Let's talk in a bit.
Thanks, AB. I'll take you up on that. I like to know more about Grandpa. Head on in. D will get you a cold one. I'm looking for a misplaced key.
Well, I hope you find your key. Talk to you in a bit. Off he runs.
That was a little scripted event.
Nice.
It's great. So it irritates me because like the HUD is not loading after you talk to him. So like I clearly have to put a script on that.
Nice. Okay.
All right. So you talk to him. What was the last? And so like the last time you talked to D, I feel like if you went to the menu, I love how he's drinking the thing. And I made it to where notice he will not drink it. But if you run like 2 screens worth away, like if you go all the way back to a door and you don't have to go all the way through it, like right there, and then you come back, I think like right when you run into the scene, he should be like taking a chug. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I lied. You might have to reload a scene. But anyways. So what do you do?
Nice.
What was the last thing you did? You
Yep.
have to think this through.
Talk to D.
Thanks for working to clean up this bar. Look around and see if you can find anything else that we needed to worry about. Thanks. Night, Stealth Mouse.
Oh man, 4 a.m. That's tough.
So
it's like go look around.
So I wanted to talk about some logic at this point. Like I got to the thing is like it was very directive initially, and when I built it, it was like do this, do this, do this. It was on rails.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, do 2 things to get the legit, and this is based off of your advice. Like do a couple things that say like, here's how you get a bat, or here's how you do
Right.
this. Now it's a little bit more open. You're kind of like go explore essentially.
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful because there are some stuff. You've already done the basement scene, but
Okay.
yeah, I like that you squished it.
Yeah, he's good. I like that squished. Meow.
Oh, I don't know what just happened. Wait. Turn it. Oh, it shows that it's on.
Near Elgato says no signal.
I'm thinking it's the Game Boy itself. So I'm really hoping that didn't just turn off completely. We're gonna go to
We saved it, right?
sponsored by Elgato. Our first good run through. All right, so the crappy part is I'm gonna have to unplug this, and if it's not in the right place, we might have to default to the build,
Okay.
which we'll try in a second.
We were probably pretty far along, weren't we?
Getting to a point that I wanted to see your reaction to it. So we were playing it off off our little analog pocket here, which doesn't look like it's loading. Okay, so let's see if the save loads. This would be a great. I don't know if this would go to tools. Oh, you have to turn it on again. It's just this one right here. It'll take a second to. You'll see it on the bottom.
Okay.
Should load up. So we're doing a little test right here. So we're running this off of a GB Studio on my thing, Play Creation. So I'm curious, does it load a save state? So this is, I mean, I didn't plan this, but this would be a great thing. So if you hit start, and so this is start of the game, go ahead and hit start. Yeah, baby. Yeah, thanks, Mike Azul. Oh, you just saved over it.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, burn. He just saved over the save state. So now it's going to start over from the get-go. Okay, so what I could then do, because if you load this, you're going to just be right where we were at. So, dang it.
Okay.
All right, so what I could do is I could pivot, and then we can talk about the game.
Okay.
And then I can play it from the game itself, and we can kind of go from there. Sure. So, all right, up to this point, I think that took 30 some minutes for you to play through that. I think it was about 30 minutes that you were on that piece of it. So we're going to go into the back end. What does this thing look like? If you're building a game, like what does it take to build something like this? And so I'm going to zoom out just to see it from like the back end. So this is it. You got like cutscenes, you got all these other pieces. All right. When you played that, there was something that happened in there that I wanted you to look through, and I'm curious. Can you do multiple save points? Yes, I can have up to 3. And so I just haven't programmed the 3 yet, and I've actually been, and this is some good feedback that I'd appreciate from anybody out there, is that do you think you should be able to save at any time? And maybe Ryan, I'd like your advice. Or do you think that there should be like save stations? So like it could be at either stage, or you get to like a point midway through. Yeah, you could do multiple ones. And honestly, I got to be honest, like I haven't worked on the save UI. I've mapped it to the start button. But what I think my 2 cents are is if I hit save now, I'm going to prompt it to say, would you like to save? So you can't save over a save state. So that's probably the takeaway. At least that like how I've been working on it is iteratively. Like, oh, that sucks. I never want that to happen again. So how can I prevent it from happening like too much?
Is it a thing to save? Do you have to go into an option and choose a save? Or can it just do it like, I've made it down the elevator shaft, just save it?
So yeah, absolutely. You can do all those things. It's like anything you want to do. So the one part I was hoping you would get to is
yeah.
yeah, makes sense. Don't focus on something until you realize it sucks. So I'm going to load the game right now. So when I'm in the game itself, and what you'll see is that I want you to play in the museum room, because I thought that would be a fun room to kind of mess around in. So what I'll do is on the computer, when you click this button in the upper right hand corner, it loads the game. And I think I've showed this before. Actually, I wonder if I can show you this. Like it shows you it building the game in real time, and it's like doing all the stuff and compiling it, getting all the scripts together. And there's a lot. There was one time yesterday that it failed, and it's like, yeah, we can't find this variable. And I was like, I have no idea how to fix this. I was like, it's like irrevocably broken as a game, and I'm gonna have to go back to a prior save of what I had of the game, and I did a lot of work, and I redid the entire HUD system. And so once I did that, I figured out what the problem was. But what I was going to show you, and what I'll do is I'll make it a little less here. put it off to this side. So we get our beautiful Adam and Ryan faces in there.
That's
First the thing is, I'll show you. I made it look like a Game Boy if you're playing it online. And if you'd like to play this right now, actually, I'm gonna chuck this into the chat real quick, because if you want to play the game, if you're like, oh, this looks interesting, you know what? You don't have to just watch us play it. You literally can pull this out on your phone right this second and play this game. If you're not watching us on our phone, that is. So I'm going to chuck that in the chat. Our latest build of the game, if you want to keep up with it, can be found right here. So you can play, I think, a version that's a little bit back from this one, but it's pretty close to the 4.5 beta.
Nice.
So you're probably playing at a 4.4.5444. I don't know. There's actually logic to my thoughts on this. So I played this so much, I'm gonna just speed run it because I know what I need to do to kind of show you where we're gonna go. And notice it looks different than what you were playing on the GB Studio Analog. I wanted to play it on the Pocket because I hadn't played it on there yet, and I wanted to kind of see. I think I actually took off hit damage on this, but I love the comment, like, you got to have fall damage on this, and you'll get some of the pieces on it. But this is an example of like things that I have to do like over and over and over.
Do
like,
you want to play with the controller?
I can't because it's not on the.
Oh.
That's why I give it to the analog, because I knew that you're.
Yeah, it does look slightly different.
It's because it doesn't show the pixels. It blends the pixels. There's no difference between the pixels. So it looks, I would say it looks better, so to speak, because of what it is. It's like the modern version of the game, but I play it on the analog and all the different systems, and I actually load it to carts, and I play it on carts enough so that I can just make sure it actually plays well on a Game Boy system.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to do that. I put the little like curves to some of those points because I wanted it to look kind of cool, as far as like
Sure.
just not a bunch of blocks as you're going through it. But as you can tell, I've played this a bazillion times.
Played it a bazillion
I have
times.
played it so much to be able to do the things, and I actually did to like that run sucks, and like it would be fun if this little thing happens and this little thing, like I made it to where if you jump in the water, like if I jump out just in enough time, you won't get hit. So I'm at full health.
I like that idea. Is this full health?
Yeah, I'm full health. Actually, I made it to where full health is five hearts.
Because right now it looks like you have 3 hearts.
And I absolutely do have 3 hearts. So I figured you would start with 3. You can go up to 5. And so
okay.
it would be kind of like a bonus that you would get more hearts. And like you can, maybe use that as you go through that. So this was a pain in the ass. Just as I was doing it, I would fall off of this little thing. And like there was all this bullshit. I did not think this would work. And the fact that I got it to work, I'm really happy. So, all right. I'm going to call out some stuff, and if you're watching this, you're obviously appreciate some of the stuff that we've been doing. We got a composer. He's going to be coming out with that. So you talk with her, and I'm going to skip all this stuff. So you check that out. She's like saying, hey, go get the rats. I like your idea. Go to the screen. We can do that. I can cut to the screen at that point. But what I was going to say was, we won't have to do the whole alley scene. We're almost to where we were at just a second ago. So you get that. You just have to kill the rat to be able to. I gotta get out of the hitbox. I gotta work on that. You kill the rat in that point.
I feel like, isn't it bad that you're allowed to go all the way up to there and do that? I feel like it feels like like I'm like, oh man, I just did all that for nothing.
I think it's also part of the thing is like you get to explore it, and then you're like, I want that. Like
I feel like it should. I feel like it should be like right at the very beginning of it though, after like 2 jumps, because you're like, I did this whole thing and made this whole whatever and did this, and then now I'm like, oh, I just have to go and do that again.
I think so, because there's nothing that you're like dodging. What do? You platform up. Like the only thing is the ghost shooting like things at you at that point.
Sure.
So I mean I agree with you, and I'm gonna take your advice in a feedback way. Just like okay, let me just tell you my thought, and then I'm gonna hear your thought. It's like you get in there and you're like, sweet, this alleyway, and you make your way up, and then you see that and you're like, I want that. I want it so bad. And you're like, you try 20 times to get the thing and you're like, well, crap, I apparently can't get that. And then you go back.
I feel like what happens is you go, I must be doing something wrong.
Okay.
There's a thing here and I should, like, I feel like it's more frustrating than it is like amazing, like fun. I feel like it's not fun. Like you want to get to the end and you want to have like resolution to you getting to the end of the top of a thing. Like you need to be rewarded for getting to the top.
So think about it like this, is that yes, you're right. And initially it's frustrating, but when you get there the second time and you get it, is it like doubly rewarding? I don't know.
I feel like the problem is people quit then before it gets double rewarding.
Yeah, maybe have it. Oh yeah, I like that. Add another, like you get something, but you still have like a carrot at the end.
But I would want them to go through something. It's like you should only have to go through the level once.
I think the way we've created this is there's backtracking. We're haloing one this shit.
But
is that
then it has to be like, because backtracking is going through the same thing, but it looks different. So this is like forcing yourself to do the same puzzle twice.
Maybe,
jump puzzle.
Maybe, because here's the thing is that we're only halfway up. You get that part, and then you can go further up once you get the next step. So maybe we just need to tune it a little bit.
I would be fine if it's further up, I guess. Like if you would be going and it's super easy then or something to get through it. Like I don't think that part of it isn't necessarily all that hard.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I made it. It was easy enough that you can get it. So, okay, spiders. We'll get this done. So, okay, this is the part where I don't know if you'll be able to play it, but I'm not gonna tell you what the thing is. I'm gonna have you direct me, even though I'll play it on the keyboard because I'm pretty decent at the keyboard. First of all, let's just
Game Boy there.
Let's just enjoy the
or
Game
Tetris,
Boy.
yeah.
Come on, I love it. God, that was so fun. It was fun to animate that and then get it like thing. I want to get one line. Yeah. Okay. So one of the ways that I thought of it, that first of all, if I get that health, I can't get up in this current build. I can't get up to 10. A heart is worth 2 hit points because it's like a heart, then a half heart, and then no heart. But I haven't set it to where this thing would take me up to all the way to the 10 hearts or whatever. But I wanted to show you something. Like when you get this, you're like, oh, a page from Grandpa's journal. It reads, I couldn't trust him, so I hid the skull, the real skull. If they were to get to it, I'm not sure what would happen, but I'll protect it. I'll protect my family in this city from... Damn, the rest of the page is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So build some suspense, build some things. Original playback to our original
totally.
episode 1. But I don't know if you've noticed to this point is that, okay, that unlocks the museum because it's basically saying like, there's a thing, you should go do the stuff. If I go and I run over here and I run to the end, it'll still say like storage closet. You should do some other things first. So you're kind of like, okay, fine. You apparently don't want me to go and do anything else. So here's what I would ask you. Up to this point, have you noticed anything about anything you played? You saw a clue that I will not tell you what it is, but you saw something that you're going to need for this next part. Because, and before I tell you anything more, is this is an adventure game. And so what I wanted it to be is, and I don't know if you've ever played a lot of Game Boy games, which you said you didn't, they are frustrating and they are sadistic and they are like, you go up someplace and you're like, damn it, this sucks. Like, where do I go? I liked Resident Evil. I like things that like you have to find things and you run your way all the way down a hallway and you're like, damn it, I can't get through this door. Well, I clearly went the wrong way, or, oh, there's that little glimmer over there, but I can't get over the thing because of whatever. So up into all the plate you did, you found something that you may not have known you found. And so I wanted, because I don't know if you've seen this yet, but I want you to tell me how to do this. So what have you remembered from this level, this part of the level?
You can click on the case and you can click on the back poster or the back bulletin board.
And so is there anything you notice? I don't know if you noticed.
There's a door or something like that on the right hand side that didn't used to be there.
Yeah, and so if I hit inspect here, Well, let's hit up. It's just talking about Roby Digger climbed the peak of Mount Pomarty in
Okay.
1932 and said to have found a unique Cyclops skull. Turn over the picture. And it's this crashed spaceship, which we
Right.
need to do a better version of that
Sure.
for sure. This looks like a crashed spaceship. What the hell? Is this even real? What were you hiding, Grandpa? I need to find out more. So there's another area I need to put in the UI. I'm going to do that really quick as a note, is I need to add in the UI health. There are so many times now that I have to create like a UI, I call it a UI HUD that has to be called every time there's a dialogue. Every time a dialogue, I have to call it. Otherwise, you won't see the HUD come up.
Oh, okay.
And so because it was such a humongous change, it was like a change that you don't want to do this late in the game or of what I've done. So the way I can at least fix it right now is I just got to go in and out of the thing.
Okay.
So what would happen in the past when I clicked on this?
A dialogue would come up.
So you haven't seen this. Okay, this is great. What's different about this thus far that you see?
It looks like the eye is dark or something.
Okay,
Like-
here's the new thing. The famous Skullbob's artifact. This can't be real, can it?
Oh, nice.
What's the code, Ryan?
Oh man, what's the code? I don't know. Did they set it somewhere?
I will give you the one hint that you should know this code. So every time you get it wrong and you try to leave, it's going to reset. The famous Skullbob's artifact
Sure.
can't be real. So just tell me what you would do in this instance. You're in a game. You have to put in a code. Chat, you can chime in if you
I would
saw
probably
it.
go. I would probably go talk to the people in the bar.
Okay. So you direct me and I'll do what you want me to do.
Let's talk to them.
Okay. Still looking for that key? I was admiring the selection of beers. Grandpa was a busy man. Yep, he kept all the secrets too. Once I get to the office, I'll be able to find the whole list and some of his secrets. The tricks of the trade. When you have some time, I'd like to chat about the skull. That old thing, well, I don't even think it's not even real. But Grandpa sure did think made a whole business out of it. Can't read tonight. We can chat later. I know a few things you might find interesting about it. I see you went for the strongest brew first, AB. I need to go deal with a few things. We'll chat in a bit. So he says that on repeat. I'll just tell you that much.
Okay. Then talk to D.
Thanks for working to clean up this bar. Look around and see if you can find anything else we need to worry about. Thanks.
Okay.
So I said, Michael Zool said, is there a clock? I love that. That's a reference. No, there's no clocks in here yet. So my only hint thus far is you have found it. You just don't maybe know you found it.
Okay.
So
I mean, we found a little piece of paper, right? That had
oh yeah, so we found the paper. So if you go to your items, there's your paper. This looks like a page from Grandpa's journal. It reads, I couldn't trust them, so I hid the skull, the real skull. If they were to get it, I'm not sure what I would do. I'll protect it. I'll protect my whole family from the city from this. Damn, the rest of the page is missing. And actually, I actually like your idea here because I think this might actually be the place where I should put the clue. I'm going to tell you that. That's my hint. I think you're right. I think you're right is that probably is the better place to do it. But it's not there.
Okay. Is it like back down into the sewers somewhere?
I'll give you the hint. It's not. But let me tell you this. This clue, and this is a big one. This clue was created 15 years ago.
At the very beginning when we started this.
Yeah, but it's not like you don't need to have the logic of 15 years, but the actual clue happened 15 years ago.
Oh man, I feel like I'm bad about remembering that type
So
of stuff.
I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm just gonna give it to you. You went into this room and we said, hey, when you jump over that little exclamation happens.
Mm-hmm.
So watch what happens. You inspect this. And this is where I need feedback, honestly, because you go in here and you inspect it and you're like, Grandpa was such a great explorer. This is the time he almost died in a blizzard. The day he peaked Mount Pomare, March 26th in 1932.
I feel like that's too obscure,
okay,
man.
you think that, but then what do you see?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, have you played Resident Evils? Have you played the...
I feel like...
so this is feedback. What do you think here?
Yeah.
But think about adventure game. We're not playing... This is not like shoot 'em up platformer.
The problem with that you don't have an adventure game that you would have in other... Like if you played Monkey's Island or something like that, is you would have every character in the entire place telling you, maybe you should go look at the picture that Grandpa had in the front room to see if there's a number. Like you have to, like those adventure games hit you over the head with that stuff.
Right.
Like every character is telling you to go do it. Every single thing is going over here, and then it's down here and it's flashing and it's doing things like, and even then you're like, what? Like it's just that's how
absolutely
games
well
are
because you
like
get
that.
frustrated and like me knowing this, and this is where I need like the unbiased opinion of this, and feedback is a gift. So it only says it once, and do we put it in other areas? So it does say like March 26th multiple times. And so one of the things that I'm thinking is what's the balance enough?
So what you would have to do is when you clicked on the thing, you'd be like, when you click on the lock, it should be like, what was Grandpa like said or something? Like there should be a clue right when you get into it, so that because you're gonna be like, you're gonna get into it and you'll be like 3 code what? I don't 7 whatever, I don't know, and then it'll be like, oh, I bet Grandpa like talked to, they'll have to do something. And then D will have to be like, didn't Grandpa always use that old date and time of his, first thing when he did it? And the old guy has to be like everything has to point to it because people are dumb.
I would agree, but I've also played a lot of games where like the balance isn't so on the nose.
But then that's what made Game Boy games not fun.
So, but that's the other side of it. And like, what's the depth? Are we making it like more like you're exploring and like listen? Because let me throw it this way. If you look at the story, and this is where I agree with you, is that everything starts to say like, I should go look at the museum. Like, this is where this thing happens. And so if you read the story, when you look at that, he's like, this happened. Oh, I should go check out the museum. And it keeps telling you in the discussion point, you should go to the museum after you do that. So everything's from the picture and the hints is pointing you that direction.
And in that little book that he has, like all of those hints should say.
So I could put 326 on all of the pictures in this cutscene. So what I don't want to do is be so like it's so blatant here's
the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. When you play it, it's going to feel super obvious. Like, I'm sure everyone that makes a puzzle game has done their puzzles 10,000 times, right?
100%.
And they're like, I could run through this thing in 8 minutes, Like, I could speed run this motherfucker. And so I was like, and so then you're like, oh, it's so easy. And then you give it to the random Joe and you're
100%.
like, it takes up 45 minutes. Look, it's right there, buddy. Like, and it's just, that's how people are, right?
Yeah.
So I think you just gotta you either gotta put it everywhere or you gotta give everyone hints.
So think about it. So this is my 100%. I'm taking this as feedback all which ways, and I think this is you and I in the chat kind of coming up with it is that once you know it, then it kind of blows it, and so do you give it so on the nose that everyone knows it right away? But I would like to balance it to where it's not so like, yeah, this is what it is, and it's not so hard that it is to get it. Now, let's say that's a discussion point because I don't want to get too much off on a tangent on this. It's 10:30, and I want to get to this next part. So let's say you get it. Now, the first thing is I wanted to be fun, and so up to this point, watch what happens when you get it.
Oh,
the
nice.
eye turns on.
Nice.
And where is it looking?
I mean, yeah, I got you to the right. Oh, okay.
The door
nice.
opens. So I was like, you got to make the skull have a cool thing because that's the whole thing of the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I want it like animated though. I
It-
want it like
the-
and be like a or like an in-game cutscene of like
Totally.
him like dramatically. Everything has to be more dramatic than you think it needs to be.
well, and you got that's where the art design needs to
Yeah.
come in and help make this happen for sure. So yeah, you could do some Roman numerals above the bar on the date with some. I think there's so many like insights, and I'm gonna definitely take this. So here's the cool part. First of all, when you used to come in the room, you would come in and there was just a little vial on top of this thing. You'd get it and you'd have the dash. And I was like, that sucks. Like, there's no challenge to get the dash at this point, and you can't get to the top of the other level. Like, you want it to be. And I was using Resident Evil as my theme on this because I played Resident Evil where I was absolutely where you're at, and you were saying like, it's not easy. They're not telling you where to go. You have to find this weird little thing shoved in the butt of a clock or behind some picture randomly somewhere.
We're too coddled as a video game playing like society at this point.
Okay.
The bad thing about that is though, if you make it hard like that, I feel like then people.
But who cares? I want to make it for like the people that give a shit about it. This is a Game Boy game. Okay, this next room, 100% because of your advice. Here's what happens.
Okay.
So I thought it looked sweet because
Yeah,
like you're in a
totally.
secret room
Nice.
and there's like this table, you get your thing. And so what was the one thing you said you need to do right when you get something? What the hell is this? I'm amped up. Double tap left or right to dash. So I got to make sure that I got this. Oh, there's another area that I need to get dash on. So I got dash. I need to, apparently I need to check my HUD because, oh crap, hold on a second.
Yeah, you didn't choose it that time.
No, I didn't. Okay. So that's both of them. And I have the bat and the dash. So if I double click this way, and I got to tell you, this was a pain in the ass to like figure out how far, is that I cannot, no matter what I do, jump to get out of that door. And I kept moving the dial back because I was thinking like, oh, it'll be sweet. Like you'll get here, he can't really jump here, and then you have to just hit the dash.
Yeah.
So you have to like nail this in and use the jump and dash to get out. And so it shows you like you got the dash, but you're stuck in the room. And you got to use the dash to get out of there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Totally. Hey, yeah. Yeah, it'll be dialing in like the hardness of this thing, right? Because like that, I feel like the dash, we have it, but I feel like the dash is a hard dash in this game. Like it doesn't.
Game Boys are hard, and that like no matter what you say, like I have played so many. I had somebody else play it at work, and they're like, "Oh, this reminds me of the old Ren and Stimpy game," and I was like, "Yep." The thing was though, we have saves in this where some of the old games didn't. So if we have saves and checkpoints, what I'm thinking of, let's say you had a game and it was too easy, you'd speed run this in like 10 minutes and you'd be done. So if you don't make it like just enough skill set to like be a little harder, like and it's a limitation of a Game Boy game.
Well, then I would say that then the puzzle should be easier because it's either a hard platformer or it's a hard puzzle game
or a balance of all.
or a balance of both so that they're both easier, I guess. Like at that point.
You're the one that loves the Dead Space, like how do you run thing.
Yeah, well, like part of it is too, like I like it as a short story, you know, like a thing where you would say like, oh, it's like I can get through it and people will like I would love to give it to Kathy and have her play through our fun story. And
Right.
I know that like the moment that we got to a part where you're like, I have to do this over and over and over and over and over again to even get to that next area, she'd be like, I'm not going to play this.
Okay, but here's okay, I have a compromise for you. You could have story mode and then you can have like a hard mode or like a puzzle mode.
Because you couldn't have that because the jumps are the hard part, right?
Yeah, but you could make a mode where if you're in hard mode, this stays at that location, or in easy mode, it's already there, or you already get it, or something
Or
like
there's
that.
just multiple little jumps, like platforms. There would just be extra
Like
platforms.
you'd have to do a
everywhere.
little extra work on it. So one of the things right now is that all I have is, if I go to this, I have the dash and the bat. And so in a lot of the reasons I took loadouts is like sometimes when you're like hitting buttons, you don't want to be swinging a bat, so you turn it off. But you want the dash on, you want the power-ups on in case you wanted to do. And so it is kind of hard. I made it absolutely like it has to be a little bit more difficult to get to it.
Well, and I think they're sort of like if you play like Mario Brothers, right? Like a lot of it is sort of it's like it's you can get it, and then there's like a couple spots that are super hard. And so I feel like if we had this part, because this is very forgiving too, right? You're like missing it and you're just falling down a little bit, right? And there should definitely be some kind of graffiti on the wall that says use the dash here, like you have to do all of that stuff because people don't get it.
So this is where I feel like the combination of me building the mechanics and then you thinking like, okay, we need to put the code here, or graffiti on the line here, is that starts to balance, and that makes it an Adam and Ryan game and not an Adam like coding and playing it 10,000 times. Because my 2 cents was, after I played it maybe 4 or 5 times, which I know people wouldn't probably play it that many times, I was like, this is way too damn easy. Like, I can beat this game in like 10 minutes this far, in which it took you 30 minutes, and you're telling the story, you're looking at the points. Okay, so we got this part. He's like, oh, this is my Game Boy from my grandpa. It's it even has the official Skull Bob's Game Boy game inside.
Nice.
Meta as shit right here, bro.
That's good.
And so I need to find some batteries. I bet I can find some stored in the storage. So if you really truly read through this, it leads you through where you should go next.
They're not going to though.
I know.
You gotta highlight storage. Like that has to be in bold. It has to be like store underlined and a different color.
So when you get this, what you get is just so you're aware, and we need to figure this part out yet, because on the right hand side you got to show what your loadout is. And if I go back here, I need to also fix some stuff because it's still showing the wrong loadout, so I got to work on that. But what if I were to go here and say no loadout on this, in Game Boy loadout, it should show Game Boy loadout in the bottom right hand corner. And so I have double jump, which I made it to where you can jump on the cool thing. Nice. That was it. That was the only thing. Sure. You could just jump on it. And I was like, it looks cool. I love that little like sculpture of stuff. Right. So up to this point, we've got all of the stuff from the game. We've got everything in there. Wait, let's see. Do story points show up in the menu? Some of them do. And so when you go to the menu, we were thinking the notes, they would like, you would jot something in and they would cross off like kill rat. And then it would be like an X through it or a slash. And then the next would be like, look at attic / through it. And then like, there would be like, look at find museum code. Did you check the pictures? And so like, it could be, this is where it gives you the hints as well. Like, so it's not so on the nose of where it's going. I really have to show where that's at. I'm pissed off that's not working. So I'll show it that. So at this point, you get back to the bottom, dead rat. One of the things I wanted to show you is see when I run up here and then I go up this ladder here.
Oh, see, I wanted the bars of the railing to go behind it.
So absolutely can, but then if that was the case, he would go also behind the ladder here. So we have to take the ladder behind the bars away, if that makes sense. But we'll do that in real time. We'll do it in just because I want to fix the freaking sign to show you.
Well, because I made the ladders white, or I made the railings white. They were sort of like white and dirty before, like almost like they were sort of. And then I was like, that's why I asked you. I was like, if I want something to go in front of them, I can't use white, right? And you were like, yeah. So I took them off and made them different colors.
So he's got all the stuff now. She's just saying the same damn thing. And you're like, okay. And then you talk to him. He says the same thing. So at this point, you get to he's like, oh, I want to talk about grandpa and all this stuff. So you're like, I got into the museum. I've gone into the sewer. You've gone into the attic. And this goes with like stuff we've talked about in the show for a lot of time, right? But then I go over and the final part is you're like, okay, well, the only room that I had not done up to this point is this room. And you're like, there's the key. And one of the things about the HUD before, it was over the key and over some other stuff. I was like, I need to get the HUD all at the bottom. So the first question is like, is the HUD down there a problem? Do you like the HUD? Is it fine?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
totally. No, I feel like that's great.
And so he gets here. Oh shit. I've done that before too many times. Like, God, thank God I didn't like accidentally load game or something
Exit
like that.
game.
I'm going to save the game right there just to be sure.
Just to be sure.
Oh, it's because the freaking jump and I have to double jump is right next to the stupid space bar. So you get that. There's where I put my key. And so if you're looking at this and you go to the items, you'll see here are the items that you can collect. So each item that you collect in this world, we got to figure it out. I don't think that I should put this or either of these in there because you collect it as an item that's like selectable. So we can start to add more story points in the game. So part of my thought was these are specials and you should only really get one special per level. So you only get the dash in level 1 and then the double jump in 2 and then something else in 3.
Okay.
And so then that leaves us like multiple story spots where you can start telling the story. And so this one starts to be like you get a key, maybe like 2 story points and then like another like bonus item or something. I don't know what that looks like. So I just thought that would be something cool. So we got everything thus far. So you'll notice that once you get the key, who's just chilled out and he's here. He's like whatever. And you talk to him and you're basically like, about time we find that damn key. I've been waiting. Let's talk later. I'm a bit hammered. And so he's like, get some rest, buddy. I'm going to go try this key out. So one of the things in the logic is you have to talk to him. You have to talk to D before you get out. I know we're running short on time, so I'm going to give you some story points. Okay. But you have to talk to both. If you try to go out, and I'm going to test it right now because I hadn't had a chance to test it. So I've gotten this far. Is that, so one of the things that I need to fix is I talked to him, but I didn't talk to D. And I should be able to click up on this and it should say, oh, did you talk to everyone before you want to leave? And now it does nothing. And so my logic's off. And so if I go to D, it should say like, yep, talk to D. Hey, babe, I found the key, which all works great. Thank God. And she's like, all right, I'm going to go check it out. So you've talked with everyone. You've cleared everything that we've done so far. And now it's time to leave. So you leave.
Nice.
Just beat the game.
Nice.
And there you go. And so the last test would be if I went to start game, starts over. If I go over here, this whole menu is the new one I did. So if I load game.
Right by the key.
Hells yeah. And I should have the double jump. Let's see here. Do I have? Oh, I don't have the double jump on. Let's see if it took it off. Oh, it must have taken it off. So I have some work to do on some of the HUD stuff, but I know I just talked a lot, but that was a lot of building out this game and doing some of the pieces on it. One thing I'm really kind of pissed off about was this thing because so you touch it, and I put it as B. I'm gonna put it as up for right now. What I'm going to do is I want to go over to development because I want to show everyone your cool thing that you made.
Well, and even, that was the thing that I wanted to even talk to you about because so I did this neon light for Skull Bobs and then I did a lit version, that you could turn on. It just because almost like I was like, well, there's a big space here and it'd be cool to have something unique in this space, right? But then afterwards I was thinking, we should really be saving our unique things for like story points.
Exactly.
And so then I was like, well, then maybe the sign doesn't make any sense for like what story things we're trying to tell. So I was like, when we do say the sewer level, right? We should be thinking like, we want the platforms to be fun.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And then we know we want to impart some sort of knowledge to the person while they're going through the level in it.
Yes.
And so when we do that, we're like, what story points are we hitting, right? What do we want to do? And then think about like, we're probably going to get 2 or 3 unique things throughout the level, right? And they either need to be impressive visually to be like, what it's just a cool thing that they see and they're blown away by, or it's some kind of very cool like story thing.
Well,
and so then we just got to figure out like, what do we want to tell? How do we want to tell that throughout one of the stories? And then once we get the platforms right and it's fun and we know the 3 story points that we're going to hit, then I can go in. Oh, nice. We got it. Turning on and off. And so does that use, because this is probably 25 unique tiles.
it is not.
Right?
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't pissed at you, but I was like, you bastard. It is 4 deep and then like a crazy amount over the top. I was like, it took me over an hour and a half to do this.
Yeah. And
It looks sweet though. So like, but what you could do is that, how do you build it in a story point? And I'm hearing what you just said is like, I agree with you 100%. If we do something flashy like this, like what if when you turn the light on here, it opened like a thing further up in the world. So like think about it like this, maybe reframe your thought. By turning this on, we're flipping a variable. The variable is either saying, hey, this thing is on or off. So a 0 or a 1. 0 is off, 1 is on. So if Skull Bob's sign is a 1, do something else anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Whatever you think that could be.
Right. Well, and that's why we should be, like muraling that out, right? Where you would say, okay, we're going to have these interactive moments and this is,
That was a good one. Illuminates the graffiti that you talked about earlier.
Oh, right. Where it says like, you got to use the dash here or something.
That would be good. I like that.
And then it's about like how many
it could be just right about this. Like when you turn this on, there's no so this doesn't take away from our tile count.
Yeah, so that was a question.
So what it's doing is, and so one of the things is, any one of these worlds that anybody sees here, you can have 192 unique tiles. So for instance, this bricks right here, since this tile and a tile is 8 pixels by 8 pixels, is exactly this 8 pixels by 8 pixels. These 2 tiles are considered the same, so it doesn't take up 2. It's just one unique tile. This thing is 100. Like all of these are unique. This is the only place in the game. So I think it took like, and if I go into the game, we can do the count. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4? No, it's 3 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 30 unique tiles out of the entire game.
Yeah.
So do you spend, like, if you spend that, and then so 30 unique tiles,
I think you do
hour and a half of programming,
because those are like your delighters, right? Like it can't be all platforms and doing stuff. 100%. It needs to be like, oh, at certain levels you're seeing new things and you're interacting with new stuff to make you want to keep jumping up platforms, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you like have to have that stuff. It's almost like it's why you're trying to be judicious in the other things, so that you can have the leftover tiles to do fun things in the world.
So let me ask you this. From what you played today and compared to what we've had up into the past, doesn't this like whole edition start to make it feel like there's a little bit more to the world? Because up to this point it was bar entrance, empty kind of stuff, and it was bar. So now you like this whole sewer sequence, this sweet looking alley. Like I think you nailed it. So congratulations, awesome job, dude. That was perfect. So what I would think is, if we start thinking about clues, I built this specifically without anything in it. Like I'm imagining that you shove something down in a corner, or you have to get yourself hurt a little bit to go find like a special clue if you really wanted to, or I put an extra door in there to like go to another little room or whatever, and then you have to get something out of that. So like there's a lot of area here where I was hoping you would go in and after playing through it once or twice, you'd be like, oh yeah, that platforming is not great there, and like adjust it, and like, what does a sweet sewer look like? Pipes and like things, and then.
Well, yeah, because that's what I would think. We would want to nail what the platforms look like. And I could start doing the back, because, there's going to be brick and, there's going to be like, pipes, giant pipes with water pouring out of them and things like that. Right. And crazy like pipes and stuff for the brewing area that we're going to get it. It's like foreshadowing the brewing area where we're going to go into. But here's what I think is we have to know what abilities you're going to have in each area. Right. Because you got to know. So are we not? So there's like no double jump. There's no double jump in the entire like tavern area.
I don't think so.
Okay. So we just do dash. And we like, and then I feel like we sort of need to know, I kind of think you would want to funnel them into, here's an easy level to begin with to learn the dash, right? And then it has mostly easy things as you're going through. And then one at the end is like a little bit hard, but it's to get something that you don't absolutely need or something. And you're learning the dash and you're learning it. And then you're getting more confident in it. And then the next level has a couple little hard jumps, and you're like, oh man, but there's no penalty for losing. Right. And then by the third area, it's like, there's penalties for losing but you're good at the dash now at that point. And so you're like, yeah, now I'm dashing past everything and it feels good. And I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm kicking ass and like learning new things and getting better. And then by the time you get to the brewery, you have a dash in your back pocket that you're like, yeah, I know I could just pull that out when I need dash and I see something that it has to dash to, but you earn the double jump. And then you're like, now I got to learn this double jump and slide or whatever that goes in for like double jumping and doing things. And I know that I have that dash in my back pocket to get to fun things. And it's like the same exact thing. Now go do this thing in the thing that teaches you that double jump.
I'm going to agree with you on all of that. I think the thing that we're going to run into is that's like in a game that's not Game Boy to have enough time to do that.
But I think you have 3 levels. Like we have 3 levels basically in this tavern section, right? So like we have
3 sections.
3 sections inside of it.
Okay, let me throw this on you. Is that so? If you look at this level, one of the things you'll notice is I put these bars here because once you platform up here, if you fall, like what I found is like if I didn't put these sections, you could just like sprint through this and get to it. So I was like, crap, you have to like get up to this point, and now you're in like this second section. Now you're in this third section. The other thing I thought of is you run through the first time and it's just platforming, no dash, nothing. And you're getting used to the platforming. Then if you said like, we could make this higher or different, we can adjust it. You can have some like little things off to the side. You're like, damn it, how do I get that thing? How do I get up there? And you never do because you can't on the first run through. You get the dash and you're like, oh, that stuff in the sewer, I could get to that now because I got this little ability. And then it makes the replayability of and then like the exact same level because now you can get to something different.
And then that's a different level though, right? Or you're finding something different.
You're getting to a different section of the same level, but now you're like, so like for instance, a story point, or you get to like another area where you get a second key that can open another door. Yeah. So what I'm saying is like, you're using the same level to first do, I'm learning the platform and you're seeing clues. Then you're using the second, a similar level to now like, not only use the platform, but use the platform plus the dash.
I think you would have a hard time doing that with the same exact level, right?
So it would just need to be bigger or taller.
And then you would just build a different level up there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's like it's a different level that you're playing once you have access to it because you have the dash.
Or so like let's say you jump here and you jump here, and then over here there was a key. like or something, a key card, let's say.
Yeah.
And so you jump here, and then you can't get to it, and you're like, oh, that sucks. Like, I want to get to that thing, and you're like, all right, apparently I can't get to it. So you go on and you do your stuff, you get the thing, and you get out of there. So then you get the dash, and you jump here, and now you jump up enough, and you dash over to it. And you're like, oh, sweet, I can get the key card now.
But I would think you would want to do that as like story points, right? It's almost like extra things that you're doing, or unless you just want to have everyone being, because if it's like progression, if like I have to have the key card to progress, then everyone's going to have to be telling him,
Yeah.
did you check in the sewer for the key card?
So I agree. We're going to be limited on, I think, how many worlds can we do? How many
Right.
worlds can I program?
And
we got to reuse some of our spaces.
Totally. Well, and I feel like, because I do want to make it's like a hard little short story. You know, it's
Yeah.
like we want to hear what is going on, and we want to do that. And we want to make it challenging enough that you want to try it a few times and feel like you're progressing through it. And I feel like you could do that with three sections of each level. You could just be learning the new ability that you got, learning the story along the way. And as long as it's fun to learn that ability each time, then you're like, you're learning a sweet ability, and you're interacting with a fun little short story. And so and you're seeing cool pixel art. And so then you're like, great, I want to keep going through the story.
I think you're nailing exactly what we're trying to do here. The other side of it too is that as you start running through some of these areas, you don't want to just do that. Like we were very story heavy, and when you get to it, you were even saying no one's going to read that earlier on. Is the very first iteration of the game was story heavy. So I was like, how do I take that away? Where when you're in the sewer, there's no story. It's just like a door is locked. You get it. It's all platformer.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to say is, like, when you're in the bar, expect more story.
Yeah.
When you start to get deeper away from the bar, it's more platforming.
Totally.
So the story happens there.
Well,
and
I think it could, but I think it not necessarily. I feel like the tavern sequence is storyline, but interconnected storyline.
Oh yeah,
right,
for sure.
Whereas the alleyway, like, I think when you turn on the little light, it should pause the game and have the little pop-up bubble, that comes up and has some kind of storyline thing, right? That you're learning more about, like, how the bar was built or something.
Or this kind of thing. So I took this and I was like, how sweet would it be that when you click on it, because look, you had a little mouse hand and you're clicking on things, like,
Totally.
you can make interactive story mode. So what I'm trying to do from my lens is, like, here's the technical abilities from your creative lens. Like, how do we build in the story and the moments and those little clues to get you to this? So I would say your challenge or action, because as we get to 11 o'clock here, is that so you had some really good feedback on this. So in the cutscenes, there's 3 of them that you get to at this point in the game. Is only one of them has the little, like, code on it. So does it go on all 3 of the cutscenes? So, like, all the 3 of the cutscenes you can get before you get to the point where you put in the code.
I feel like you have this game memorized, but I don't.
That's why I needed you to play it. That's why I wanted you to play it.
Like, I'm not going to play it as much as you are to memorize it. I feel like
Okay.
it has to be in the mural board. Like, it has to be like, here is the top level story. Here we want them to go to this room and then back to this room, and then they have to talk with someone, and it has to be, like, connected that way, so we can sort of look at it in a large way and be like, oh, this should be connected to that, or you should have to do this thing to get to that, because right now it's all in your brain.
24-hour stream. We're
know,
gonna mural board the hell out of this, because I got to be honest, is that part of it was I did take the mural board that you had, and, like, this is based off of the mural board that was originally built. The only thing that I changed was, like, we said, oh, we're not going to go to an attic, we're going to go to a sewer, or we're going to go to this now. So
And
I
I'm
had
not
to
even
swap
and
that.
I'm not even saying take my old mural board stuff, like, just even going forward so that we are talking the same language, and I can be like, remember in the third level when they go to this part of this thing, this is what's going to happen, and we don't have to keep it all in our head.
100%. I mean, that is my fear is that I can't get. So let's say from an action standpoint, what we can do next time, mural board for sure, top of the list. Like, how do we start to map that out? If there's any focus, if you wanted to like I thought the drop in would be fun for you, because all you have to do is like little bones, like little things that are just, this is all visual. You're just dropping down and seeing cool things as you fall down. I thought that would be fun. I would love for you to at least like do a version of one of these. Maybe just start getting some ambiance of like what it would look like. I would tell you, I'm not married to this platform. The version, it was interesting, but it feels like he's too big for how small some of these things, like he's like very cramped in here. So like, for instance, when you fall down one of these areas, like I had to make the falls so that he could even get out of it or even fall deep enough. So for instance, when you fall, like you can't get to certain areas, or you can like, you'll never get into this little like cubby hole. So it almost needs to either be bigger and like less little kind of cubbies, or I don't know, we have to figure something else out with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that was it in a nutshell. I think in a general sense, we're I don't know. What do you think? We feel like we're heading the right direction here?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's starting to feel so. Let's just take it out. What was it? 9 months ago, we had nothing.
I know.
We had a thought.
An idea.
15 years ago,
we didn't even know what platform we were using at that point. Or anything.
I think it's good. I'm having a good time with it, but I do want to like pull you into the fold of like focused on specific things and start getting this all squared away.
I think we can both work on the platforming side of it and what is fun.
Hell yeah.
Right?
24-hour stream is November 3rd, is it?
Yeah, it's the weekend before the election.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like the Friday night, Saturday before the Tuesday election. So we're going to be on like pins and needles, but yeah, I mean, I think we have plenty to do, especially like I kind of wanted it to be a working session last year, but we didn't have enough to work on.
I think this one we could, I mean, it's going to like burn our brains, so we got to be a little careful on it. But yeah, I think we're going to be in a good space.
Nice.
So up for 72 hours straight.
Yeah,
then.
I
know. Oh my God.
Man.
All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I actually, thanks for jumping in this deep with the game. I felt like we needed this session, and I've been doing too much in my own little like world for a while. So I need some like honest, I've been asking for feedback from folks, and like I've not got much. And so it's been hard because I'm just like, well, I got to keep going with something. So we have something palatable to like make as a game. But next step is put on carts, give it to some folks to play out, and I'll fix up some of the things. Great feedback tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, totally. It was fun. Like I feel like we're getting close.
All right, everyone.
Thanks.
You have a good evening.
Good night.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the show, and we will see you next time.
Good hangout.